Coffee's good, man.
Coffee's good.
You see my slight tone of voice change?
Yeah.
It tells you we're
Yeah.
live. Yeah, we have that. We got like a little green light kind of thing going on. We're trying to figure it out. I don't know. Maybe it's my energy and you're just matching me, but I'm tired this morning. Can you
A
tell?
little bit, yes.
Yeah.
Last time we did, well, yeah, because this is only the second time we've done it this early in the morning.
Yeah.
And the first time I went to bed late, and surprisingly that morning I was pumped, and so it didn't show or feel that way. But I think maybe now I feel relaxed because there's a weight
Yeah.
off my shoulders. So, but yeah, I come here and I'm like, I feel like I just woke you up to say, hey, let's do our podcast.
Yeah, I was about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, I don't know, something like that. I was in my underwear trying to get the camera set up. Been burning the candle at both ends for a few days. Yeah, man, thank you for bringing the coffee again. The coffee is bomb.
I brought more. See, last time I only brought the 2. I brought personal and 2. So that way we can stay well caffeinated.
I'm pounding fluids this morning, dude. Needed to drink. I've been neglecting my health over the last month or so, trying to work on my own project at work.
Yeah.
I think like throughout time, I don't know, I think life's probably a give and take for most people, but I don't think I've ever had the perfect balance. And I end up thinking about Jeff Bezos, how he used to look, like back in the day of his like founder days. I'm like, yeah, the guy got it figured out, and look what he was doing.
Same with Elon Musk. He
doesn't look too great right now, right?
Both
Yeah,
Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, in their early founder days, they look more disheveled,
Kind of sickly,
and older. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny what billions can do to you.
Elon Musk looks. I thought he was kind of fatter now. I thought he was.
He's a little
enjoying
chunkier
some
now,
food.
but
Why are we talking about this? Continue.
because why not, man?
Continue.
You're the one that started it.
I did.
You did, man. It's that founder mentality, I guess. When we look back, hopefully in 100 episodes from now, we look better.
I hope
is
I
what
do.
we're going for, right?
I hope I do for sure, dude.
So wait, no, but
Yeah.
your health, man.
Yeah, my health, man. I mean, I'm eating.
What are you not, when you say you neglected it?
I'm like eating okay. Diet's okay. Exercise is like down to minimal for the last month and a half, 2 months while
Yeah.
I've been sprinting on this project at work.
Yeah.
And in the ideal, I'd wake up at this time or earlier and go on a long walk or a run or work out or just get some exercise in. But I've been minimal steps these last couple weeks, just
Okay.
just chilling, or just at my computer mostly, all day long.
Well, you said a month, and that I've always told Sarah, because it's okay to take breaks. Sometimes
It's been 2 solid months, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. No, that's appreciate it, but you got to fix that, bro.
I know.
I feel health and wellness, eating right and exercising are it's
Yeah.
self-love, man.
I know. We did talk about it last night. I think, is it warm down here?
Yeah, can I call you out though? Oh, no, I'm comfortable, man.
Okay, cool.
If you're burning up, let me know, but I like
Yeah.
being cozy. I like being warm.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good with it too, man. Continue.
Yeah.
Call me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead,
Up
dude.
in the kitchen, man, I saw a nothing bun cake.
That's Carrie's birthday was Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Did you text her? I got to call you out, bro. I'm just kidding.
No, I messaged you, man.
Yeah, you did.
I don't even think
yeah.
I have Carrie's number, actually.
No, I don't have Sarah's number either.
There
dude.
you go. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, it's
All
fine.
right?
It's fine. I was actually, so I was setting up Carrie's birthday and I was texting a friend of hers nonstop planning for it.
Right.
And it felt gross because her husband and I are good friends. And I'm just texting this chick all day. I probably texted her more in the last couple weeks than I've texted him in the last couple months. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah. I don't need Sarah's number, man. But I don't know, man. Our friendship has always, you and I, what's funny, dude?
Please.
I was talking to my therapist, who I used to have, who is no longer my therapist. We're on a hiatus.
Okay.
But we text each other a little bit. It's professional or whatever. But I don't think I ever really mentioned you to this person over the course of a long period of time.
That's very interesting.
And it's weird. It's almost like I keep you in a box in my life and the box is like uh, a trusted. I don't know how to describe it, dude. It doesn't minimize it.
No, no,
It's not
no,
like
no.
I'm trying to
I mean,
block you off.
as soon as you said like you didn't talk to the therapist about me, and you mentioned a box, I'm like, yeah, it's like, you know, to me, I'm picturing something like you treasure, so you're very delicate with it, and
Not even. I mean, it's not like delicate. It's just like I don't know, dude.
like a nice car you don't want to take out of the garage. I'm trying to give myself compliments here or something in
This is
regards to.
true. No,
I don't know.
yeah, I think it would be something like that, or like, or the car you go to escape from, like, or
Ah,
like a place you just go for peace or
yeah,
something. You know, like,
yeah.
yeah, which is why these convos are legit, dude. Episode 3 was better than episode 1, I think.
Dude, it was so much. It was so good. It was so good. So, our followers, if you will, but my number one right now is my wife, and I was telling you about that too, and that
Yeah.
was incredible. Just her feedback, genuine. I mean, even so. I mean, obviously, as my wife, right, biggest cheerleader, and that's great. But even she's like, hey, you don't have to put the mic near your face. Your voice,
Carries well.
yes,
That's funny because I'm looking at the mic in your face and I'm like thinking of saying something, but dude,
yeah.
I'll back off.
No, I know, because we talked about it last one when you got the upgrade, and she
Yeah.
was like, she's like, as soon as Craig said like, oh yeah, you got to put it real close, she was like, I knew you were gonna just kind of overpower it, which I thought was interesting because right now sitting here, I'm like, we're both the same tone, but somehow your voice is, just a little more
Yeah.
even keel, and mine.
Yeah, you have a powerful voice, dude.
Well, I appreciate that's what I
Yeah.
took it as, but also I'm just like, okay, wife had some great feedback, a lot of it just genuine praise and very proud of us, and what we're doing.
Sure.
She was the one who was even asking me just a few days ago. She's like, oh, when are you and Craig doing the next one? So
Sweet.
that is awesome, man.
Yeah, I think I'm now at the point. If I do get like a couple moments, I'll probably set up some kind of periodicity or some kind of like automated social media thing. But I don't want to do that.
No.
I don't want to. I don't want to do it manually.
All right.
I don't want to spend my life force on it, which is a pretty good place to be because a couple of years ago, you would have to either pay somebody to do all that stuff for you, or, well, I don't know. Is it a good thing? Automation? I mean, partially. I have views on it. Have we talked about this before? I can't even remember.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, automation. It'll definitely kick people out of jobs. There's a couple of schools of thought on this. Obviously, one
I mean,
is
when you say automation, do you also associate that with like kind of AI, like
yeah,
not just the robotics of like replacing human function, but like
yeah. One feeds into the other, kind of. It's like robotics are just logic interacting with machines, and then humans and their ability to interact with AI allows them to do that more fluidly. It's a link. It allows us to make robotics. AI allows us to make robotics and automation
so.
faster.
Sharing an observation on that because
Yeah.
for the longest time, kind of like seeing the buildup, right, and going with AI, automation, robots, and it was always the mindset of, whose job are they going to replace? Like that's always like a universal, like, who, things that you may be doing now that a robot's going to do later or AI, and you're like, should I change fields? Should I be worried? And I always felt safe in what we did in operations, but after a year at Amazon, I changed my narrative a bit. And to peel back a little bit of the layers, we use so many tools, and they were trying to integrate so many as a manager that I was like, at some point, it can just be a robot in my chair. Like,
Doing the tools.
yeah, so many things that, like, from the one-on-ones to the annual reviews, there was always like an AI assist, like, oh, do you need help getting through this?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk it through with the AI before you're talking through your, technician or whatever? And the more and more I saw this, I was like, could I get replaced by AI where it knows, the more of the nuances of the human experience so much, we keep feeding it, and it's going to keep just gathering and gathering, whether that's authentic or just a compiling of ones and zeros as far as what to say when somebody says this or how they respond to that, which is so very true.
Do you? So
Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it deeply. I'm definitely not distracted
Yeah.
or like in my own mind or bored by what you're talking about.
No, but I could tell. I didn't know if you're
Yeah,
like,
I'm like,
that rings true, or
yeah,
I think you're
dude.
full of BS.
No, I actually am contemplating whether or not to. I did a recent study to figure out how many tools we use at work,
Uh-huh.
and I have a number, but do I say it? You know,
Why? What's the? Well,
because
let's just talk it up a little bit. What happens if you say the number?
well, it's proprietary to the company, that number, or it's like
Is
it's
it?
could be painting. I'm just gonna say the number,
Yeah,
and then I'm just gonna
what about a
leave.
ballpark?
So for my org and below,
Mm-hmm.
so there's me and like 3 other positions that are below slash adjacent to me in my org. And on a normal basis, I'm just going to say it and then move on.
Okay.
We use 71 tools.
Okay.
That's it. So the tools, so to my counterpoint to what you're saying,
I thought that would be higher, actually. Funny enough.
well, it's the real number,
Right.
and it's what we actually use.
Got it, okay.
Not what's available.
Okay.
There's more.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Right.
However, but like if you're being realistic and just
Yeah.
being like honest about what tools you're actually using, not the ones you're like you could use or like use once or twice a month or once a year.
Right.
I'm talking about stuff you probably use once
Yeah.
every 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, not novelty or anything.
Yeah. So like that's a lot. And if you if your job was like if somebody wrote a job description was like, you know, rotate through decades of tooling, you'd be like, wow, that's a full job. But the thing is, that's not the job. The job is like being a human. So like while you're talking, I'm thinking of A, share the number, which I'm glad I did. And then B is like, can you replace a dog? Is like people tried. We get these robot dogs or robot pets, and it like appeases the kid for a short amount of time, but then they get used to it. But when a dog lives its whole life in your house, even though it's inefficient, it poops outside, and you have to pick it up with your hand or scoop it with a scoop.
Yep.
We end up mourning the dog's loss for eternity.
Yeah.
And my point is, can a robot do part of our job? It can do the part of the job that's not in the job description, which is the admin. Can it do what we do? No, because we're not replaceable. Like a dog is not replaceable.
No.
You may want another pet,
Right.
but we're not replaceable. Meaning like humans are valid. Now, are we replaceable in the workplace to getting paid? For sure. The perfect version of what you're talking about is we free up the admin crap so
Yeah.
that we can human. And
Right.
what humans do is interact with each other, help each other, work with our hands. We can think at an executive level. So like we can be out in the spaces and make decisions about what we want to do. It'll like freeze people up to either work with their hands and do things with their bodies or have creative thinking. So in a perfect world, technicians would be out in the field more. People would be out in the field more, interacting with each other.
Yeah.
I'd be having more organic one-on-ones. I'd be having an hour and a half long
See,
conversations.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think AI can replace us in that. Like the technicians in
With
the
the
field.
one-on-ones?
Yeah, I think so.
What?
I think so.
Are we going to stop talking? Is
No.
AI going to replace this?
No, see, that's the thing. I
That's
think
what one-on-ones are to me.
I know.
Yeah.
But also they're within a box, right? Typically, right? They can
Like a
be
professional box?
Yeah, they can be just cathartic and organic, but typically it is like
They're both.
how are you doing personally? Checklist. How are you doing professionally? Checklist. I think AI could in those human interactions. Okay, so maybe like there's certain things they couldn't do better than us.
Yeah.
I think there are other things like professionally they could do better than us. When they have the resources, when a technician comes to you and says, hey, I want to pursue my degree. What do you think of this?
Yeah.
And then it's just like Google AI when it's like, here's the step-by-step checklist of
Sure.
what you need to do to get your degree, the time, the money, the energy, the effort, recommendations, recommended schools.
I've never seen, even in the early days of the early parts of the new millennia, I think we always had that data.
Yeah.
I think us sitting in a room and talking, I'll talk to anybody about anything for a long period of time, but after 10 minutes or 15 minutes of trying to strategize on should I go to school or not, you already know the answer. Somewhere in your mind, you already know the answer. There's very few problems in my life
Yeah.
that I feel like really stuck, usually I know. And usually I can tell by talking to somebody that they know
Right.
what they should do. It's just the emotional aspect of it, of like overcoming it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's where the honesty
Yeah.
thing, I mean, we talked about this once or twice before, is like the honesty thing of like intellectual honesty of like somewhere in the back of my mind, I know I don't have to let my, you know, frontal cortex or whatever. I'm not a freaking, I don't know much about brains, but like, you don't have to share it with anybody else. You could keep that a secret forever. And only you will know, even in moments. Maybe once every 3 days, you'll be like, you know the answer. Just like do it.
Oh yeah, very
You
true.
know?
Very true, man.
So people in one-on-ones, man, they're not,
Yeah.
most of the time, I don't think they're looking for strategy.
So as much as I was like, oh, like in my experience of all these tools we had, and especially with the AI integration,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if I'm having to go to AI to help me do the one-on-one or the annual review or the promo doc or whatever it is that's within my job scope, approve a PO or, you know,
Yeah.
draft up this email that or that and the third, you know, to be organized and planning. And I'm like, every time I'm going to AI, at some point does AI cut out the middleman? That's the part that for me has been in that thought process. But two, I like how you said it, because that threw me off when you're like, well, what about this? Like, what about, and I'm like, yeah, what if I get replaced by a robot because it's more engaging and stimulating and adds more value to you to have a podcast with an AI?
Do you think that'd be real?
I don't know, man. I think
Oh,
I think the possibilities, like, you know, once again, I think we talked about movie buffs and sci-fi.
yeah.
I think that future is very real.
That we could be 100% replaced. Because unlike a dog, we literally are making a clone of ourselves digitally.
I don't think you could ever, like a dog, once again, because there is, you know, there's a huge assumption on the emotional connection.
Sure.
I think that buys into like, why do I take care of this thing that's usually more of a pain in the butt than anything else? Like, what does it do for me besides just make me feel better about myself or feel like that connection?
Yeah.
The bond, right? Like, so maybe in that regards, AI can't. Like, I know what you're saying. Like, if in a one-on-one, do you feel great to be talking to something you know is not human? Probably not. Even if it's a better resource, but
Dang.
interesting tangent we're on.
Yeah. I think the human aspect is we're all struggling in some way. I'm
Empathy?
empathy, dude, and an acknowledgement of imperfection.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, if an AI is faultless and has no problems, has no struggles, then would I feel empathetic for it? It would be like, would I sit across from and be like, the RAM upgrade that you just don't have yet is like really challenging. You know, like, like you don't have the processing power yet. Like the thread like connection on your processor is just minimized. I feel really bad for you.
Yeah.
I think the human thing is because I'm human. So as long as I'm not eliminated by AI, I'll always have a stronger connection to human because I am one. I don't know if that's worth anything.
Yeah.
The thing is, we have no control over this stuff, so I try not to. You know, people who obsess over it. I mean, dude, I'm feeling a little spicy this morning. Now
Please.
that I'm waking up, I'm
Yeah,
feeling a little spicy.
Coffee's kicking in.
Yeah. I don't know. I did sleep okay, but I think people who obsess over existential stuff, they're just scapegoating, dude. I think it's just something they're focusing on to like distract them
agree.
from a personal problem.
Yep.
Most of the time. Do I think some people are, and this is, you know, episode 1-3, I always would try to give like perspective, be accepting of all, and I am.
Right.
From my point of view.
You're much better at that than me, by the way. Like, having listened to the episodes and just in talking, I'm like, you are very open-minded. Like,
I have to be.
I feel open-minded, and then I'm like, this guy's on another level. So I applaud you for that, my man.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I do it for, well, I don't do it for work, but it definitely comes into play at work because I now have a pretty big org. So like, I want the person who walks in my office who's the exact opposite from me, color, race, ideology, all of that shit. I want to be able to connect with them just as strongly as I connect with you. And
That's a tall order.
that requires major open-mindedness, dude.
Yeah, man.
You know, so like, yeah, it's one thing to like go through life and have a certain set ideology. That's fine, but to to get to the point where you're like, these other ones aren't even valid or do not exist. That's where danger happens, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
No, I know. And it's interesting because my sister, who lives in North Carolina, she just came up through town this past weekend, Friday to be specific. And so I got to see her face to face, which had been, a minute, maybe like a year and a half or two. Yeah, like a year and a half at least. And we just, we were catching up, right? And just rambling about kids and family life, jobs, right? And then somehow at one point near the end, after 2 hours, we started talking about AI. And it was just fascinating. Like, once again, it enters the conversation where we've got so much to unpack as family. And then at some point we're talking about AI and it taking over. I think it is not necessarily just polarizing, but I think maybe because of our background in data centers. And that is the next big push or leap. The AI race, just as much as any arms race in the data center. And that's the next phase. And NVIDIA, being in the headlines every day. Elon Musk, of course, SpaceX IPO. I mean, that's a little different than AI in itself, but it's still kind of the background of just the money dump into AI. Like, there's a huge investment from the big four and everybody else in between. And so I that to me, they talk about how like the technology ramp or it's, exponential. So I'm like, man, in our lifetime, there's going to be things we can't do. Like one of the ones I was joking with her about, and I've said before, is I think at some point, in the next, maybe decade or two at the most, we won't be able to drive our own car. It will be illegal for a human to drive a car because it's safer for a robot to do it, manage traffic, control it. Like
20 years.
Yeah.
20 years sounds realistic. I think it's an aggressive timeline, but I think that's real.
Well, not only for like self-driving, which is already happening, right?
Gas cars.
Well, yeah, exactly. Just a complete overhaul, because they'll crunch the numbers and say it's just safer, and, less congestion, less traffic.
Like horse riding, I think it'll become like a special thing that only the rich do or something.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
Like, I think like literally you'll go to driving tracks and be like, you get to drive your own car.
Yeah.
This here's Bessie, Bessie runs on diesel fuel, like.
Yeah, that's why part of me wants to, well, I love manual cars, as a car enthusiast. And so I want to buy a manual, but I'm also going to be like, once again, in 2 decades, that'll be, you have a manual? Oh my God, like those have been outlawed, and you can only drive it at certain places, where it's legalized, or for the ultra wealthy to being like, you have a combustion engine with a manual transmission.
Yeah. Dang, dude.
We have seen so much through our lifetime. I know we talked about this too. Like, I am a little older, just a little bit, right?
Just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit. But, from the 1980s to now, like the world changes, and sometimes they put it on paper, compared to our ancestors where, they maybe saw some crazy changes, like planes and rockets and going to the moon. But like what we have seen, and probably within our lifetime, see somebody land on Mars.
Maybe.
But like I feel very, we always, like this morning I started like, man, how lucky are we? But I feel very privileged to be like at a very interesting time through history, a fart in the wind, if you will, compared to the universe. But still, as far as the human experience goes, what we've seen from the 80s to now, and
you could be like,
and what we've still yet to see, with AI.
Right. Yeah. Some people, it gives them that existential dread, but you could just be like, what happened during your lifetime, Grandpa? And it'd be like, oh, plague, a lot of us died.
Right.
Like, that could be real.
Right.
And that has been real in the past, just like war and plague and death.
Yeah, I mean,
and now
we went through a pandemic.
Yeah, we did.
That shut down the world.
That did shut down the world. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, when you can say like I'm older than Google, and some kid would probably laugh and be like, "What?" And you're like, "No, I'm actually older than Google."
Using dial-up for the first time and all that crap.
You're like, "Oh, how'd you get around without GPS? You just drove somewhere. You got out a paper map."
I think that gives you a really interesting perspective compared to all of humanity throughout human history.
Yeah.
We have the ability to look back like we've never had, and also to look forward.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah. We are lucky, man. I mean, we are lucky sitting here. I always, when I say that, I'm like, if somebody's watching who wants help, they're going to be like, well, yeah, asshole, like you're lucky, you know, like, but what about me? What do I'm trying to figure life out. Dude,
But we're trying to give back, right?
I hope
I
so.
think with our time
It's
and
what the
effort, right?
coffee talks have done for us.
Yeah.
We're trying to give forward to other people. And
I mean, we're not getting up at 4 in the morning.
I mean, I didn't get up at 4.
I know.
I got up at 4:40.
Right.
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, no, but absolutely, right? Getting up this early just for the sake of, tooting our own horns, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the form to give back, the authenticity. I mean, we could have just kept this to like, hey, I'll see you at Anita's. And I think that was part of where, we could have stayed in our own little bubble, in our own little world of, up here, by the measures of society. But yeah, just being authentic, sharing it, knowing
back.
we've been there, done that, been through some stuff. See, that was the other thing too, actually, that Sarah said that I loved. She's like, you guys' podcast is so good because you guys have a lot of experiences. And I was like,
man.
dang, yeah, I appreciate that. For her to just recognize we were able to talk about a lot of things. And
Don't most people, though,
huh?
by our age, have a lot of
I
experiences?
don't think so, man.
I think they do.
Not as many.
I think
the
it's-
Navy in itself, like once again,
that's
when you talk,
something worth chatting about.
it is,
Yeah.
but the military, is a select group. As much as sometimes we take it for granted. Somebody hears, "Oh, you served. Thank you for your service," and you're like,
Yeah.
am I special? But it is a select group, the military,
Yeah.
with a percentage. And then also, then you want to add layers of like, oh, being a nuke, right? That's even more selective to a degree, right? Within
Sure.
ratings. But just, I think that in itself invites opportunities, but also our mindsets. I think how we view the world and have navigated through it also sets us apart a little different, a
Yeah.
little bit.
I think I mentioned it previously to you at least, but like how I used to compensate for my age is I heard a quote that was like, experience means nothing, but evaluated experience means everything. I imagine if somebody was in their 30s, 40s, and could evaluate heavily what their life was, then they would have something to talk about. I think, as we mentioned previously, well, maybe I did. I'll just go on a little tangent. I find myself able to actualize like the best when I can take every part of my life and give it meaning. So, dude, this is ready for some rabbit hole shit. What's the meaning of life? The meaning of life is paradox. It's there is no meaning, but you have to make all of the meaning, and then it has meaning. So life is a sandbox, no inherent meaning, potentially, depending on your ideology.
Right.
But you can give it meaning. And when you
100%.
have meaning, you'll be fully actualized. So like I find myself living fully, and in moments where I've been like, I have a spark or something is like, comes to my mind is like, God talking to me or the muse or whatever the creative thing is that's
The
like,
universe.
oh, you have a place or the universe, whatever, that's like you can go forth and live.
Right.
In that moment, if you ask me to look back at my entire life, I can create a story, like a biography,
Yeah.
that has like a linear pathway that is nothing but up, that leads all the way to that moment to actualize and live fully. So my point is, in moments where you're living well, parts of your life have more meaning, and all means something that come to who you are in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if I'm fully actualized, if I am 100% on, then everything that has happened to me in the past, every part of my story, every experience I've had, then at that time my perception is had meaning or brought me to who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah talking about you having experiences, I'm like, we have experience, but more than we have experience is we have tied our experiences into who we are at this moment. Now you can have an experience and be like, somebody died, I'm done,
Yeah.
Or it's somebody died, every interaction I had with that person has led me into who I am today, and therefore I go forward and live. And I feel like what we've talked about and what we are doing here is we are in a position where I was going to say this is not genuine, but like, you know, the thing that makes you powerful when we're talking, dude, is because like you talked about like your mother, and you took it from a place of like, you know, like you could have got on here and cried on live, you know, but like everything that you mentioned was about meaning and like finding yourself and like moving past that chapter, tying back to the things she gave you and wanting to give that forward. And like,
Yeah.
you have meaning in all of that.
Right.
So it's not, I'm not trying to invalidate Sarah. I think we do have a lot of experiences, but like, I think anybody in your 30s, 40s,
Yeah.
you could tie in your life and turn it into experience. Like that chick from North Korea who escaped.
Yeah.
Her life was probably pretty simple in North Korea. A little bit of espionage, and then there's the escape. Everything leads up to the escape. And then you're in America, and now you have a huge story.
Yeah.
Somebody could be like, well, you were just I was just in captivity for 20 years. I have no idea what to talk about.
Yeah.
But to the world, they're like fascinated.
Yes.
Because of the escape.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, I like how you put it in context. I think once again, you're very humble. You are. You not see, because some people would be like, you know, not taking it as marginalizing, but just keeping it very centered, you know, if you will, right? And I like how you're saying that, because
My ego's dangerous, bro.
well, I think that's probably why maybe you
Keep it
over-index to make sure it doesn't inflate, you know, in a healthy way. But I have two questions.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's once again to share here. It's sometimes interesting when we talk because it triggers something in my mind, and I'm like, I want to not interrupt, but I want to get in there.
Shit.
But then it's like being present and listening to somebody, but being very intentional about that, right? Because it's too easy once again to go, you know, I listen to speak instead of listen to listen. But two questions that I got for you, my man, that rang from what you just spewed out. If you died tomorrow, would you be fulfilled in everything you've done up to that point? That's question one. And then question two, you mentioned meaning of life, and it sounded like you have kind of developed by your own context, because you're right. I agree with that too. I think the meaning of life isn't something that's, you know, obviously universal. It's very much in like, and until you give it meaning, it doesn't have any. Until you figure out what that is for you, in your purpose, or why you're taking up oxygen or space, right? That you need to find that. And I think a lot of people don't, which makes it more difficult to go through life. So if I can, I'll give you the mic back with two questions. One, if you died tomorrow, would you be fulfilled in everything you've done to this point? And then two, what is your meaning of life, sir?
Question one, I can make it simple and just say yes, but ask the question differently, because have I been fulfilled in everything I've done up to this point? Meaning,
Okay,
like,
no, you're right. Let me, because the way I think of it and say it, I didn't give it to you that right way.
Sure.
Would you be fulfilled? You know, doctor comes to you and says, hey, we found this thing. You got, you know, one day, right? Would you look back and being like, I lived a great life? You know, and because we talk about those experiences, right? And just, man, my journey, it's been a great ride. And I feel comfortable punching my ticket.
I think I would send my mother a letter.
Okay.
That's the first thing I would do.
Yeah.
Which means I need to do that right now. I actually thought about that last night.
Okay, so now you're thinking of like business undone.
Yes.
Okay.
Stuff that I like is on the forefront of my mind.
Okay. Well, you could get that done in 24 hours if you needed to.
Easily. I
Okay.
think I'm going to do that today.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that today.
All right.
Yeah. And then,
It's on the record.
yeah. And I did a week of the recording myself for the team on Friday. I did that. But one week I had something to do. I went to Ohio. I was in Ohio. I
Yep.
just didn't do it that day because I was helping with a situation.
Of course.
But I'll do it again this Friday. So yeah, I'll write that letter today. But to answer your question, would I feel fulfilled? Yeah, man. I'm doing this.
It's okay. So it's okay because once again, even though I mentioned like, you know, we're
Yeah.
not that much of an age gap, I think actually there is enough in this context, right? Because what is it, like 8 years, right?
9, maybe 8. I
Yeah,
don't
8.
remember.
Yeah, we forgot our ages.
I'm 37.
Right, and I'm 45, so
Yeah.
we'll call it 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8-year gap that's like not too disparaging that like, you know, that's something we make light of or notice, but 8 years is, you can gather a lot of experiences in 8 years. I mean, I've been out of the military for 7.
Yeah.
You know.
The answer is yeah, I'd be fulfilled. I mean, like, talking about ego, part of me doesn't want to say yes. Well,
I mean,
it's,
if there's genuinely things you're like, man, I really want to experience this or do that.
yeah, well, yeah. So the answer is paradox, dude. It's
I
it's
know.
yes. I'm happy in the moment. Like, this is what I want to do. Talk to you. The things I'm doing at work, I want to do. These are things I care about. The things I want to do. However, I do want to live more life. I do want to travel more. I do want to impact more people. I do want all
Yeah,
that
see,
shit.
and that's what it can boil down to when I'm talking about, like, where it's
Yeah.
like the doctor says, and you're like, no, I you know what, I need like, I need 10 more years, you know, and that's okay. I need 10 more years because of X, Y, and Z, right? For me, you know, just in being fair to you on that question, right? Yes, absolutely, 1,000%. And I think there are some things that I have done that you have not yet experienced that I know you want to, you know. And I don't want to push you into that corner.
Childhood?
Yeah, being a father.
Oh, yeah, being a father.
I know,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I'm on the precipice of that,
I
thankfully.
know, man. I wish the
Yeah.
best for you on that. But yeah, that was something down my
Yeah.
head too when I'm like, you can say, yeah, I've lived a great life. And just, I think you're definitely maybe a little more at peace. Correct me if I'm wrong, of like, if it never happens, then it wasn't meant to be.
I have to be.
Right, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
It's tough to try to being like, well, got, you know, GD, why not? But
If you were like sitting there, let's say you're just like sitting in your living room and like, damn, I want an ice cream cone. I want it so badly. And that's okay in that moment to be like, I'm craving that. I want that so bad.
yeah.
But then as soon as you figure out, like, let's say at that moment you pass out, you go to the hospital and they're like, you're so lactose intolerant, you can't be anywhere near it.
Yeah.
Then you just got to be like, I don't need ice cream.
It's not in the cards.
You got to switch it. So
Yeah.
like over the years, yeah, I've come to the conclusion that like if I didn't have kids, I would just impact, because I was on the verge of adopting.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to adoption and the crazy bureaucratic process that can be
I
for
was talking to
domestic.
Sarah about this past weekend.
Dude, it's crazy.
I know.
Yeah, Carrie and I at one point we were just like, oh, we'll just adopt. You know, we'll use our white people money and
White privilege
and all that shit, and
You show 'em your card?
we'll just get a baby.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just not reality. That's not the way the adoption world is right now, and that's probably good for some reasons. But that's a whole different topic. I won't even jump into the adoption process.
Yeah.
But it's wild compared to what you think it might be.
Yeah.
Then there's like a I don't even know how to say this, but like when the government reaches its hands into something, it's like for a good intention, and then there's a balance between like, I think anytime the government gets too involved, there's like no efficiency, and then maximum regulation. There's a balance. There's a balance between the two.
I mean, we know that from the military. I mean, that is.
Yeah, yeah. So like regulation is good, and you know, government is good, but
Yeah.
there's a balance. Anyway, whole nother thing. So like, you know, our basically our baby journey is nuts,
Right.
and
Yeah.
and here we are. So,
Right.
but yeah, I basically came to the conclusion that while adopting, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have a kid that's not biologically mine at all.
Yeah.
I was like, so what stops me from, I think during this whole time, one of the parts of my story that is congruent now with who I am now is like, what the hell's the difference between a 17 and 18-year-old person outside the law and all that crap? What's the difference between a 5-year-old and a 40-year-old? Well, it's like cognitive development stuff. But the bottom line is, I just want to develop a human. And to do that, I don't do it forcefully, but I just want to impact the hell out of people and help people. So I have a goddaughter. If given the opportunity, I'd be a fool, especially watching my nieces and nephews just grow up like that.
Yeah.
Like one that was born when I was in boot camp is now, you know, in college.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa, what happened to time?
Right.
And now I've got a goddaughter who's a little baby.
Yeah.
And it's like, given the opportunity, I'll be damned if that happens again, to where like time just goes like that.
Yeah.
And like, apologies to my nieces and nephews who I haven't spent enough time with, but like, I'd be a fool to like not take the lesson as like be in the moment and help be a father to somebody who's not, when you're not even their dad.
Yeah.
And to me, like fatherhood, my dad and I have a great relationship at this point in time. but it's not traditional in a sense of like, in some ways I look up to him, but I don't. And I don't mean that as I don't respect him. I don't mean that as like, and it's the same with my mother. These are people I'm thankful for what they did for me, bring me into this world, do the best they can, but I see them as human beings. I don't put them on a pedestal. My dad, what I'm thankful for is him, like, during certain years of my life, being very there for me. Other years, he was not. For a kid, my point is, I can be a father without being a biological father. Because later in life, you start to realize that we're all just humans.
See, I think, I mean, that's
That's
awesome for you to say, because
Yeah.
you definitely think title agnostic, which is to me like what a really good leader is. A really good leader doesn't go, oh, now I have the title, now I can exercise the authority to be a leader, right? Or, you know,
It's a role.
right.
It's a role.
And it's a role that's
Yeah.
title agnostic, like you well put, right? Where some people think like, you know, I have to create the human being, you know, through intercourse to then now have father as title, when there's plenty of people in the world that create children but are not fathers, you
Yeah.
know? And see, because like even just in that regards, like my dad, who raised me, wasn't my biological dad. And I always hated that term early on when my mom told me. She was like, yeah, you know, I got pregnant in high school.
Yeah.
You're biological. And then see, I don't even like saying biological father, because to me, father is like a serious title, like Reverdy. You know, it's just sperm donor, right? That, you know, who it is. And I've never ever reached out to try to get to know him. She showed me a picture once, but I'm like, I have one dad, you know, the
Yeah.
man that raised me, clothed me, fed me, took care of me, sheltered me, right? Like made sure, you know, I didn't die, you know, from starvation or, you know, being exposed to the elements. So it's very similar, you know, in where I'll never ever call him my stepdad.
Yeah.
Right? Because what the hell is that? Like, genuinely. I mean, outside of those people, obviously, that had a father for some point and then it changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like how your notion of it's not just the Webster's dictionary of father. It's just somebody who helps other people become better human beings, no matter
Yeah.
what their age.
Yeah, my stepdad tried at times, but is a human. I have no expectations of these people. My dad, I think the thing that allows me to be closer to my dad is I saw for, you know, after a rough period of time, he tried. He just tried to be there. The one thing that I appreciate through all of it is just being there.
Yeah.
And
Presence.
Presence, dude. Just bring yourself as you are. You don't need to be perfect.
Exactly.
He's highly flawed.
You just got to show up.
You just got to be there. And like, that's the thing, dude, is like, yeah, just try to be there. Try.
Yeah.
It's like an effort thing, dude. In hindsight, I don't need anybody to be perfect. I just want you to be there.
Well, that's grace. That's one of your other admirable qualities, my
Thanks,
man.
man. I have to have it because I have to have it for myself.
Yeah.
If you don't have grace for yourself, you're screwing up, because you definitely won't be able to give it to other people.
Yeah.
You know, like,
And you'll never be enough even to yourself. So
Yeah.
how can you be enough for other people?
yeah, you have to have grace, man.
know.
But what am I trying to say about the fatherhood thing impacting others?
Well, I was going to bring it back to center, where I was like, I started with, if you got the 24-hour notice tomorrow, your life being fulfilled and things accomplished. But to the second end, maybe we'll bring it back, you know, life's purpose or meaning of life,
Yeah.
as you so said, right?
My meaning of life
Yeah,
is
man.
to help people.
Help people.
I take a step back. It's what I'm doing at work. It's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
It's what I'm doing in my perfect world. I had my suffering. I have a well-rounded worldview that I think is both going to stay as it is, but also evolve eternally. It's this idea of paradox. I feel like I've accepted the infinite complexity of life and know that I'll never have it figured out, but know that to an extent that I now can operate outside of suffering. Like you said, wherever you go, there you are. I now am a place in my head that while I may have to make lifestyle changes and stuff like that, I know I'll always have the capability, even if I'm suffering immensely, to help other people just by having a chat with them. If you take away my legs, my arms, whatever,
Yeah.
just through my life experience and my evaluation of it,
Yeah.
I feel like I could help somebody.
Yes.
And I want to continue to do that. The way I'll talk about therapy, I basically told my therapist at some point that I was like, I'm not cool with this transactional relationship anymore. I was like, it's so one-sided. I was like, it's like, I don't need this anymore. Meaning like, I need therapy, but I can get it from you. I can get it from this person, but I don't want to have a one-sided,
Yeah.
like, I don't want to have a one-sided relationship where I'm not helping somebody. It's just contrary to my life's mission, man.
Mm-hmm.
So the purpose of my life is to help people.
Right.
And I mean that. Like,
yeah. You don't want to just keep taking.
God, yeah. And it's because it's a win. Once you start to realize, like, once your cup is full,
Mm-hmm.
eternally full, you want to do nothing but give.
Yeah.
And
Fill other people's cup.
And occasionally maybe I'll have to fill mine up. But like, for the most part, I've got what I need to fill it.
Yep.
I'm going to probably continue to do so. And until that day ends, which I don't think it will,
Right.
I'm just want to help. You know, like, so that's my life's mission, man.
Yeah. And see, I think they're both tied together because once again, if you feel like up until this point, you have lived your life's mission, right? You talk about the meaning of life. And then if it was to say, you know, when you turn 40, it's going to expire, right? Like just theoretically, right? So you go, okay, at 40, have I really been fulfilled in my life and lived my mission and my purpose? I think that's why I like that we're talking about it, because I think it's best. It is best option, right? Not the way, but a really good way to just find some purpose and meaning in life. Because then it, once again, makes it easy to get up. You know, the easy days are easy. Of course, it's the hard days of getting up and being like, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Why am I putting in the effort? Yeah, because that took me a while too, man. You know, like to really being like, if all it is for me just to take up oxygen for 70 or 80 years.
Which is not, that can be okay.
You can. No, and we talked about this in episode 1, you know, of like what you're
whatever
doing.
Whatever your thing is your
whatever
thing,
your
dude.
thing is, right? But
my brain is different than yours.
Yeah.
I've been hogging Mike a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 2 things, then I'll switch it over to you 100%.
Perfect.
Same questions.
Yep.
I think the thing that allows me to have a closeness to my biological father more than anything,
Mm-hmm.
if you took away the personal time and the efforts that he made, let's just say he did jack shit. He never even engaged with me. He just like, he wasn't even part of my life. I want to say, and this is the same with my mother, these are people that are biologically similar to me. So I know without a shadow of a doubt, like when you sit across the table from me, I don't know what your cognition is like. I don't know what your life's goal is. I don't know what your perspective is. I don't know what your chemical struggles are.
Yeah.
But I know that that person shares traits with me. I know that we have something in common. I know at a biological, at a chemical level, and it's true with my dad, it's true with my mom, that we are similar. And that like, so anything in my mind, like, and I'll see it, and maybe it's projection, but it's probably right, is I'll see things in my dad and I'll be like, damn, I struggle with that shit too. Right. Or I deal with that, or that's a strength of mine.
Yeah.
It's that similarity thing that even if we've lived completely different lives, I know in some ways we're probably having a similar experience.
Okay.
So it's like a likeness thing is like it just is like one thing that will close the gap. So like in a perfect world, if you were ever to talk to this biological sperm donor guy, you would just know that like there's some perspective that your life has had that's probably similar.
Yeah.
And that's enough. Well, this is where I turn it over to you. Is same question. I came up with these crazy great questions, no. Rico. But what is if you died tomorrow? What are your thoughts on that? And then what's your life's purpose, man?
Great questions. These are fantastic questions, my
man.
I
came up with these yesterday. Yeah.
So, just talking about sperm donor real quick. His name is Angel, which sounds very Mexican, and I dig it because he was. And also, he ended up becoming a priest, by the way. I know. So, too funny.
You ready to tell the story? Because I want to hear it.
I don't know much to it, man. But to come back to the questions, in fairness, yeah, I've. Let me calm down for a second. I think about that all the time. Well, I did, right? Once again, of why the hell are you here? What are you doing? Like, once again, on your deathbed, one, what are people going to say about you? But most importantly, what are you going to say about yourself? And then also because you see these stories of people when, they really are like on their deathbed and people are asking them like, what are your regrets? What do you wish you would have done more, right? And they have like the truest perspective, not only with time, but just, the finality of it all. And there are some things that are universal. Part of me goes, that for the majority of folks, I wish I would have traveled more, spent more time with family, just these universal things that I think, ring true with our soul. But coming back to, just kind of like you said, being a better person to other human beings. I think in that regards for me, it's just, my moniker about leave it better than how you found it. And I always like harping on that because it is my North Star when I realize at the end of my journey, whenever that is, I want it to be like, yeah, I left the world better than I found it. And it usually, 99% of the time, is through the human connections. It isn't just in the physical, but in the human connections of every person who I get a chance to touch their soul, pay it forward, give for just the ROI on that's phenomenal. But if you can give more than you can take from this world, I think that makes you a better human being. And it's, what was it? Mother Teresa wasn't a saint, and that's actually a true fact. But like Mother Teresa saying, if we all just cleaned our own doorsteps, the world would be just a cleaner place, right? So it doesn't have to be so altruistic, that philanthropy and what you do. And, you don't have to be John D. Rockefeller. You can just take care of your own stuff, Like when you're out driving, try not to be a jerk. Be courteous. Have tons of grace on the road. And wouldn't it just be better than, for everybody? And same thing, just clean your own doorstep. So I think at a minimum, you can just, whatever you touch, make sure you clean up after yourself. If you've got some trash, don't leave it for somebody else to worry about, So, metaphorical things, if you will, but just, if you can just clean your own doorstep, then nobody else has to worry about whose doorstep's dirty and who's cleaning what, to that regards. But yeah, for me, man, I probably couldn't have said it 7 or 8 years ago. So that's why I put that in context for you. Where like 7 or 8 years ago, I wouldn't have been like, yeah, if tomorrow was the finality, I would be complete. But every year that goes by now too, it just adds to it. But really, I've lived a full life. And shout out to my partner, Sarah. The journey we've been on, the roller coaster ride from, we're both military brats, and then meeting in Spain in high school, and then, continuing on and creating a family and having journeys and experiences. Dude, I have, once again, I am blessed. So everything from here is just icing on the cake.
Yeah. And
it makes every day, every moment precious. It's just, I don't know. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful life when you compare it back to, I have done enough, I've been enough, and then every other opportunity of that is just another opportunity for me to even add to the list of beautiful things I've got to experience or accomplish or give back, hopefully more, right, than I took. So, yeah, I ask those questions because they're important to me, I think. So as much as sometimes when we ask people questions, it's because we secretly want to be asked them ourselves, maybe. So thank you for volleying it back, but very much so. And then, yeah, man, we got deep again. I dig it. Here we are, meaning a life. And if you were to die tomorrow, would you feel fulfilled in it? But I think it's good stuff to give back just for the audience at home, where we're not just waxing philosophical on our own journey, but like, what's your journey? Hold the mirror to yourself. Yeah. Are there things left undone, right? Like a letter to mom, or, something that a loose end that you haven't tied up and you're kicking that can down the road. Funny enough, I always feel like for people, it's like travel. People are like, I wish I would have traveled more. And I've traveled a lot. So part of me is like, living in Spain and Italy, and then through the military as a military brat and military member, I'm like, I've seen a good bit of the world. There are some countries I'm like, the Asian side of, I mean, I've been to China and Shanghai. That was cool. But, Japan, South Korea, maybe Australia. I don't know. But there's
Maybe.
nothing like I've got to do that before.
Maybe it's because people who say they wish they had traveled more really just wanted to live a life that was completely opposite of theirs, because people associate that foreign thing with being something just way different. So is it about experiencing different things?
Or just breaking
or is just breaking out of the life or the prison that they'd put themselves in?
The
or that they were put in?
routine or mundane or comfort,
Maybe that's what the word travel represents.
the
'Cause
rat race.
Maybe it's not just travel.
Dude,
For
we've
some
talked about the rat race so many times before in the past.
I know. That's because we're in it. But, but the word travel might represent the Colosseum to somebody,
Right.
or it might actually really represent the deeper
Or
thing,
Disney
which is
World.
just- or Disney World. Or it might actually represent just getting out of your own life.
Yeah. There are
Maybe-
some people that they where they live, where they're born, they live and they die is the same place. And once again, nothing wrong
Some
with
of those
that.
people are contented.
I know, exactly. And for some
Yeah.
people, like, that's everything, and that's great, and they're rooted in that regards. But, man, talk about, so we're talking about the comfort zone here, right? When you talk about travel and getting out of yours, right? And feeling like, I could have been more and done more, or just seen more of the world and experienced it. See, AI and VR, at some point, you won't have to travel, man. It'll travel to you, and it'll be just as good,
It may be,
potentially.
but there you will be with your own mind.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, there you are.
I know, man.
Dude, I'm gonna break. It's not even tension, but I'm gonna break the depth for 1 second.
Please.
Your coffee is the shit, dude. It's so good.
Thank you.
It's
is a
so
little,
good.
Well, it's a little sweeter than your black, of course.
It
but
is. It's sweeter, but it's like the mix between coffee and a chai latte and good espresso. I don't, dude. You should
Patent it?
You should patent this and sell it.
I'm thinking about
This
it.
shit's cool, dude.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. That'd be cool. That would be sick, dude. If like 2 years
That's
from
how it
now
all
you're running
happens. I
your
mean,
coffee. It
Poppy,
is.
the healthy soda, it was a mom who was just like, there's not any good alternatives for my children. And it was originally called like Mother's Drink or something until she rebranded it Poppy. She went on Shark Tank. But it just stemmed from, I can do better. There's a void, maybe not. It's like how many energy drinks are out there right now.
Oh my god.
And if you and I were
Yeah.
like, let's come up with a new energy drink, I think we could, with marketing, some buzzwords, some flash,
at least break into
like Death Water, just some flashy labeling.
it. Death water, dude. That is funny. Liquid death.
Yeah, Liquid Death. Yeah, see, I
Dude.
called it Death Water, Liquid Death. And it's just good marketing.
Yeah, the marketing for Liquid Death is sick because it's like a beer, but it's water, and it's just water. If you just take the
Right,
thing about
it's just
don't
water.
take away all the marketing, it's just water.
It's
with,
just water.
with like a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of sweetener. It's like
There's
what a
nothing
wild-
special,
what
different.
a wild company.
I know.
And if I was like, I'm gonna make I'm gonna use my objectively one time. If you're like, I'm gonna make a drink that's objectively better for you than most soft drinks out there.
Right.
What are you gonna call it? Liquid Death. Somebody would be like, "You're an idiot, dude! Like,
Yeah.
why would you ever call your
Yeah.
healthier alternative
Yeah.
drink
Who would ever buy that?
death?"
Yeah.
yeah. And here we are with it being like $4 for a can of water or
Yeah,
something like
and
that.
And they're like $1 billion company.
I know, dude. It's insane.
It is insane.
So yeah, I'm like
So let's get into
the drink thing.
Rico's coffee, Nespresso,
Yeah,
espresso
dude.
drink thing.
Yeah, you make this launch, and I'll make this podcast launch off.
See, because I'll tell you this,
Yeah.
there's nothing like this on the market. Because I've created it at
Like
home.
this?
Yeah,
True.
I played with it until I found something that was like the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked coffee every morning, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like a requirement. But now with this sweet combination, I look forward to it every freaking night.
Yes. There's a couple of episodes of the Joe Rogan podcast that I like gravitate towards because there's thousands of them at this point. If you
Yeah.
can't find one that vibes with you, I think you're just like either you hate him ideologically or something, but like there's value.
He's very open-minded though. Like he has all kinds of guests, left
Yeah.
and right, and in between.
and it's changed over the years. It's funny, in the earlier days, like when he's like deep into California, it was like super left-minded, and now he's like more conservative because he's in Texas, and he's a human, dude. So you're subject to your environment, whatever. But my point is, like, some people are like, I hate that guy, when, you know, it used to be like, oh, I love that guy.
Right.
And it's like, have you ever even watched a full episode? But like the Naval Ravikant episode, I will plug that right now. Is like, if you're watching this, the Joe Rogan Naval Ravikant episode of that show spoke to my soul. And I think, I mean, I know it's part of why I'm doing this is because I saw that conversation, was like, damn, I want more of that.
Yeah.
That's like what I want.
Right.
And that's what I hope this is like, that episode is like deep connection. Oh, and that one was like all about philosophy.
Yeah.
Another one, and also, but there's been a few other episodes that they cry. The conversation is just so deep that it's just like, him and Duncan Trussell are good bros, and they cry in a few episodes. I don't watch the show anymore. Let me just be clear. I don't watch this show anymore. But there's like this, there was a piece of that show that I was like, well, there is a coffee like this. It's coffee. It already exists. But your blend of it is very unique. And what I hope we have here, and whoever it speaks to, is also very unique.
Yeah.
How many people have got on a microphone? Like 1 million at this point.
Right.
It's a saturated market. But nobody has what we have, brother.
My daughter, because last night I was talking, you know, with the family in the living room about, oh, you know, I got the podcast in the morning, so I need to go to bed early.
Yeah.
And my daughter, she saw some kind of meme jokingly. Like, it wasn't her thoughts, but it was a meme about, like, you know, nowadays every male needs a podcast.
Yeah.
was the comment.
Cool.
And when she said that too, I was like, you know, of course,
I feel bad for her.
in lightheartedness, but also like, you know, stung a little bit, because I'm like, yeah, we just play into our male ego to a degree unnecessarily, but
I feel bad for her. I do. I feel. I'll pray for her.
I'll pray for her. She's young, so we'll give her grace.
Yeah. We'll blast her out over the air now.
Yeah,
but
the other day, similar. Just a real quick thought. Me and my wife were talking about some marital issues, right? And then we asked our daughter her opinion, right?
Yeah.
And she gave it so matter of fact, black and white.
Yeah.
And we both were like, okay, all right.
Fair.
Yeah, she was very, you know, this 1 + 1 = 2.
Right? Was she right?
No.
Okay,
Me and I mean, just being real, me and my wife later were like, she doesn't know until you've been, you know, until like there's certain things you can empathize or sympathize, but until you've walked through a 20-year marriage with another human being of all the ups and downs and tribulations, you could say, oh, if this happened, I would do this.
Yeah.
But with no context experience except for just your own thoughts.
Homie, I feel bad. Well, I don't feel bad for high schoolers. They have more time than me. That's more valuable than anything, whatever.
Geez, I know.
However,
they're going to squander just like we did too.
Oh, for sure, dude. The magic is like, so here's the thing. The thing that your daughter, and this is not anything against Bella, like super ultra accomplished.
You don't have to put the disclaimer. It's all good.
Well, people watching might be like, "Oh, what a ignorant," but dude, that's not even true. Like Bella's,
she's a world class human being.
World class.
No,
so like,
her emotional, her EQ. Like when you talk about what you see in somebody else, my wife will have a conversation with her independent of me, like in the car or something or somewhere.
Right.
She'll come and have the same conversation with me, and she'll be like, "Your daughter said the exact same thing," and part of me goes, "Yes," and part of me goes, that's scary, you know, like it's awesome and scary at the same time.
Good.
Because more time often than not, it's in the things that are, in my opinion, good. Like the good traits.
Yeah.
She is very self-aware, self-confident, very even keel. Like she is a world-class human being. Like to me, if I was like, once again, when you talk about like, oh, if we could go back, you know, and start it over again at like 22, you know, that my daughter is light years ahead of me when it comes to just the EQ part of it, just the maturation.
Yeah.
You know, but then she has moments where it's like completely off the grid, like the human experience, right? Where it's like, you have no idea, girl. You will hopefully get that experience or that opportunity, but you know, certain things, the naivety of it all.
The box, her saying every male has a podcast is the type of thing that when, I won't even say when you're younger. Yeah, this is how I felt like talking about Bella and calling her out specifically because of what she said. It's not just her. It's not an age thing. This is a human thing.
Yeah.
People will say, don't start that podcast. It's a saturated market. do not even go for that job. You're not smart enough to get it. People will tell themselves stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why would I do X? Because it's already being done, or I'm not qualified, or I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
It is literally saying, it's putting a barrier, a mental barrier, between yourself and something.
Yeah, it's like when you want to start your own business, but it's something that's already been done before. Even like, I want to start my own restaurant.
Yeah.
Like I think about my buddy Enzo.
There's a million reasons not to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, man. He came to DC, right? Was going to school at George Mason, like for, what was it? Some kind of medical science, something. Sorry, Enzo, I kind of forgot. But anyways, he was going for, something that I thought like, oh, that's going to be a good career path, right?
Yeah.
Good degree, good career path. And then he's like, there's not really any good pizza around here, and specifically Neapolitan pizza, because he's Italian. That's why he's my good friend. When I moved to Naples, Italy, we both went to school together for 3 years before I moved. But he grew up there. Mom Italian, dad American, ex-military. That's how we met, through the military schools, the DoD schools. But good friend that I've kept in touch with forever, right? Obviously, I met him in 6th grade. And so, yeah, him and his girlfriend at the time, not yet wife, started this little pizza shack cart thing. And it boomed into, it's Pupatella here, right, in Northern Virginia. And he's got like 4 or 5 locations. I've never asked him, but I know he's probably a multimillionaire now, very well, financial freedom. And it just all started from, who would be like that bold to being like pizza,
Yeah.
And that's where, not necessarily like him thinking I'm going to strike it rich in this, but like, why not?
There is not great pizza. There is not. The pizza game around here is not great.
Yeah. But shout out to Pupatella if you ever get a chance, Northern Virginia. It is authentic Neapolitan pizza.
And do you think he loves it?
Funny enough, I don't know.
Does he love pizza?
Oh, love pizza? Yeah, he loves it. I think he loves the lifestyle it now creates for him. But I was thinking about him on the way here. Where it's like, even once again, that comparison of money to happiness, or, and it's just, because I hadn't talked to him in a minute. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know if he's lonely. He's got good friends, actually. So he's a very good social butterfly. It's funny, I consider him a really good friend, but I think on his friend totem pole, I'm probably near the bottom. We occasionally sync up, and it's great. And the nostalgia of it all, we've known each other for so long. But yeah, to your point, right, where it's just, we talk ourselves out of, water. Water's boring. I'm gonna make a water competitor. And you're like, yeah, who would be like, yeah, the bottled water market needs another water company. But so
that niche was there, and it did extremely well. So
yeah,
why am I doing this? 2 things.
Yeah, the podcast.
1, I love it.
It's a fun challenge. For me, I take for granted everything. Well, I don't take for granted, but my contribution to the background of this, the software, the integration, the professionalism of it, to me, I would just have like I would set my camera, like my phone, on a tripod and record myself, right? That's the extent of my technical know-how. Yeah. And I'm in marvel of what you've invested for yourself, right? Like
the technical part of it. Yeah, I like that. That's fun. That's tinker tasks to me.
Yeah.
This whole automation thing.
It's a Rubik's Cube for you.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Puzzles, man. Puzzles are fun.
Yeah, dude. I wasn't even thinking about the technical aspect of it.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about doing it in general. But yeah, the technical piece of it's fun. That's fun. I love this. And is there a market for it? I don't even really care.
Right. That's the beauty of it.
Like what we said about, you'll be on record.
If nobody watches it, right? If nobody is live, nobody's contributing, we would still feel fantastic to continue doing it.
And I know this, dude. Whichever one of us dies first, hopefully it's on the same day.
In each other's arms.
But the other one is going to be extremely thankful and probably be brought to tears by this experience that you and I have had, having breakfast and chats like this together. I will cherish this my whole life.
That's the other thing in the mindset of like when you say, your mortality, if it was all come to a head. But then another great proverbial life question of like, who would come to your funeral and what would they say?
Oh, Rico.
Dude, I got your back.
I got yours too, man.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's all I need. See, that's the beauty of it too, right? We're trying to impact more, right? In our in our influence for the positive. But if it's like if you can just go to the grave with like one person whose soul you've touched, you're a winner. Isn't that great?
That's great.
Like, and that's for me. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm crying. I have one tear. I don't know. I don't know if we'll hit the crying quota, but I got one tear.
No, I'm just feeling good, man. I'm just feeling good vibes.
Does one tear count as crying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm crying then.
If your eye moistened a little bit, that counts.
That counts as crying?
Yeah, it doesn't need to run.
Homie? Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Doesn't need to run?
Right.
Oh, man. Oh, this is great.
So, speaking of life
Yeah, man.
and topics,
Yeah, what's up?
I've got a topic.
Dude, you're coming up with some good ones today.
Well, I know it's selfish. I know you maybe like a little
Dude, for the
break
record,
from the mic.
you've asked over the course of our friendship,
Yeah.
maybe it's because you're a little older, you've been
It
more
helps.
giving of your time to me than I have to you. Meaning like it's very mutual beneficial. It's been a great experience. I know this is true for the both of us.
Yeah.
But you have helped me more than I've helped you. In terms of like life advice or
Yeah.
just like the whole like one-sided conversation thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've talked about my life more with you than you have yours with me.
Because you've created the space for it. Like you have invited my experiences or knowledge.
Yeah.
And for that, I think, like, I don't want to challenge you and be like, no, it's been equal and you've impacted me, but I'll let you have that and just roll with it because I appreciate it. But I think it rings a little true intentionally. Because once again, I genuinely do want to give more than I take. Like in our relationship, I want to leave it better than how I found it.
Yeah.
And if that's for me to just slightly over-index in,
Being available.
listening to you, like
Yeah.
you're right. Like just probably at Anita's, we talk more about your life than mine, but I love that because you allow me that. You allow me into your world, right?
Yeah.
As a friend, and it makes me connect with you even stronger, right?
Yeah.
So to that regards, like when somebody comes to you and says, I need your help, right?
Yeah.
Even minor or major, but just like, hey, can you help me?
Yeah.
By just being an ear,
Yeah.
and a sounding board and a colleague and life's journey buddy, if you will, Liberty buddy, that so to me, even though it may seem like it's going this way,
Yeah.
it's under the table coming my way where you've created that opportunity
Right.
for me to show up that way to you.
Yeah. So it's like, even though I think if you looked at our text history, the requests for having breakfast together are probably equal, if not maybe you asking for breakfast. I don't want to put a box or a label on this thing, but
Yeah.
I guess what I will say.
Some ASMR.
Oh yeah, I love that, dude.
I know we do that every episode.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man, for allowing me the space to speak my life to you, to hear it, to be like a trusted advisor at times.
Yeah.
You've been my friend. It's been pretty mutual, as far as just like, it's been a pretty level playing field.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were just to look at where the balance is ever so slightly off, it's not even a good way to frame it, because it's not like a
Competition or
dude. But like,
how much is in your cup, how much is in mine.
right. Yeah, but I guess what I want to say is thank you. Thank you for being there for me, brother. And then B,
You are welcome.
And then B,
It was my pleasure.
and then over time, I encourage you to open up a little bit more about your own life.
I have more so in this podcast.
I know.
Where it's been more even keeled.
I know that.
I love it.
Yeah. You had 2 questions or 2 thoughts.
Oh, no. So I was just going to flip the scripture a little bit. That major life change. I haven't usually I would go on LinkedIn and make a self video recording saying, guess what happened world to me today, right? but here I get the chance to do it on on our podcast.
This is the way.
Yeah, this is.
I think it's the better
the new way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll probably still do the individual LinkedIn thing because there's probably more I need to say on just a personal, selfish level. But I have left Amazon, my man.
What?
I know. Yeah. Craig already knew. Of course. Why would I not tell my BFF who is at the said place and something we had shared just in talking about, in our data center experiences when I was bouncing around from place to place and he was consistently at Amazon, riding the highs and lows. And it was awesome when I joined and we talked about like what things we would work on together, what projects like you're talking about with your Nom Nom.
That never happened. That never happened. We never did anything
We
together,
didn't do
man.
anything. No, it flew by so quickly and it's okay, because we created this. So to me, this is even better than anything we would have done at said company. But yeah, last Friday was
It's just Nom, by the way. It's just
okay.
Yeah.
Nom.
Yeah, there you go. Continue.
Last Friday was my last day at Amazon, and it's bittersweet. It really is. Every journey is. Every chapter, if you will, in the life's journey. Man, it's tough. I told Sarah when I went to Amazon I wasn't gonna be so soul bearing to those that I was in charge of. Hold back a little bit, if you will. Mainly because I needed to be selfish for some of the health issues I was going through. And I was at peace with that. I think that was my justification to not be 100%. But over time, I couldn't. As much as I was doing my job well, and not just from my own perspective, but from other people's feedback, right? I was like, okay, I can do this where maybe I'm given 90% emotionally, right? Like invested in somebody, in another human being. Like once again, it's the way I love to lead. I think it's the way I lead best. When if I'm put in charge of you, right? You are in my charge, then I'm 100% responsible for you. And in that regards, I take that with high esteem. Like that is a great honor that I'm now put, in that kind of responsibility of guiding your career, your trajectory, your performance, which ties into your pay. Like I'm responsible for how you do well financially for your family and provide as a provider, and then also coach you through the ability to achieve anything and everything you want to be. Like once again, like in our friendship, right? When as a guide or a mentor, even for a little bit at times, I take that with high esteem, great privilege, great honor. And so, even just after 13 months at Amazon, like I was in tears saying goodbye to everybody. I'm like, holy shit, I did it again, to myself. I couldn't be inauthentic in how I lead. And as soon as people found out, like that day and then the following, the text messages I was getting, they were like, what, how, what, but it all ended with, you've been the best. Like you were a great leader, boss, whatever title, but like Rico, you were awesome. It was a privilege to work alongside you or with you. Everything you said, the coach and the mentoring, but just the, the feedback that I got. And even right now, I'm trying to hold back the emotion of it, but everywhere I've left, I've always cried. And even right now, I'm like, it was the shortest stint I've ever been. Everywhere else I've been, usually like 2.5 years, typically. Yeah. Kazi was 8 months, but that was crazy too. But yeah, at Amazon, it was a fantastic ride. It was a great opportunity. Yeah. I didn't want it to end, truthfully, only because great people, great place, great company, great opportunities. But, being very open-minded to, I hate the term better, because the comparison, but a different opportunity that I think rings truer with what I want to achieve or accomplish in life is what popped up. Yeah. And it's in Louisiana, right? Like for some people, they go, oh, you say I got a new job, and they're like, oh, where is it in Northern Virginia? Because you live in Northern Virginia. And it's like, sometimes that opportunity, you got to embrace the discomfort, embrace the suck. If it was easy, then everybody would do it. And so when you see an opportunity to ascend personally and professionally, then you've got to be open to the discomfort of where that opportunity takes you.
I'm sure you'll find comfort in the first world country that we live in, you know?
Well, that's what I told Sarah too. I'm like, I did freaking Africa, third world country, literally very dangerous. Like even when I was there, they had public protests, but for that 2 or 3 days, I was working remote, like in my apartment in Nigeria, because they're like, it's not safe to travel the roads. They're blocking them. In the past, it's gotten very violent. So for the safety of everybody, we're just going to stay at our homes and work remotely in Nigeria while they protest the government for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the news, you know.
It's kind of weird, brother.
To being like, yeah, like down the road they're doing this. Is it going to turn violent? It luckily did not. But Nigeria or just third world countries and different places, it's wild.
You ever seen that?
So yeah, so to the reason I say that is because yeah, like going to Louisiana, I'm like,
we're good.
Yeah.
You ever seen that video of that White House correspondent who's like running the meeting, and he's like,
"Oh,
my wife just died in a car accident. My kids just died," and he's like,
"Yeah, dude, that's
actually fake."
Oh, is it?
I'm about 95% sure that that's a fake video.
Oh, no, because I thought the reporter said, "Hey, you know, it's," or somebody in the room said, "Hey, it's okay if you need to leave," and he was like, "Oh, okay."
Well,
I know that clip.
I do too. But let me.
I didn't. It's
for
weird.
some reason,
did you look to see if it was fake?
Rabbit Hole found out it was fake. I
Okay.
can't remember the details.
Oh,
you know, the jury's still out on that. Figure that out.
Does it
for
matter if
yourself.
it's fake or real?
It represents something. It represents being distracted by real life when trying to execute your job. When I was thinking, the only way.
But I'm saying like
brought it
the clip itself, even if it is fake, just like a movie that's fake, but the experience or opportunity or the moment.
The reason I brought it up is because you're literally like, oh, I'm in a place where I could die if I traveled the roads. And that's literally where you're physically at. You're expected to execute at like the executive level, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a weird, like, it's crazy, you know, like.
Life's crazy, man.
Life is crazy. So you're thinking Louisiana, whatever. You're like, yeah, I'll be fine. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, me and my wife jokingly, right, talking about like we wanted to go south and somewhere where it's cheaper and, you know, a little warmer.
Yeah.
And it ticked a lot of the boxes, you know.
You got your wish, homie.
Yeah, but we would never have had Louisiana on that
Yeah.
list of places potentially, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like, not saying anything disparaging about Louisiana, but not in a million years would I think my data center journey would take me there. You know, you think after Virginia, data center capital, and love being in this business and operations and the opportunity it creates, that's where I would
Yeah.
stay. And it's like Texas, maybe Ohio, you know, Georgia's pretty prevalent.
I think at this point, so, man, I have questions I want to ask you. See, now we're enemies because you're left the company and I represent the company.
Yeah.
I have a disclaimer on the podcast. It's like we don't represent our companies, whatever. But there is a certain.
I like how our disclaimer is whatever.
No, it's very exact. It's like, you know, but
We do not represent them, right?
No,
we
it-
speak for ourselves.
right
Yeah.
on this forum.
Yes.
At the same time, I'm not going to defame anybody or whatever. But I guess like what I was not dreading. I was kind of secretly wanting you to like talk trash about Amazon so that I could like be challenged with that perspective.
Yes.
I just want like we're not free of the, you know, we're associated with these companies. I'm you know, anything you come up with patent wise or, you know, thought wise or
Right.
like it all is tied to if you use professional, like if any of it had anything to do with anything related to the company, it belongs to them. Like there's a certain, I wouldn't call them shackles, but like whatever it is, dude, you are, this is reality. Is like if you're employed by somebody, then things you do professionally are going to be tied to them most likely.
Right.
I think.
I
Yeah,
do
there's-
have something to share that I think adds value.
Yeah, let's talk about this a little bit. And
Right. Because there are reasons, right? It's not just a matter of, oh, they gave you more money, now you want to leave, right? There are reasons why. Like, why did I entertain the phone call in the interview? Like when a recruiter hit me up on LinkedIn and said, I've got an opportunity. And one, I'm like, I've never heard of this company. And two, is this spam? Is this fake? And I could have easily been like, denied, right? Or ignore, right? Or no, thank you, not interested. Very happy with the status quo.
Yeah.
But there's something that made me, like everybody, pick up the phone, show interest, right? I had to take action in order to transaction this experience. So
shouldn't you always be open to receiving?
I think so.
Yeah.
See, on LinkedIn, you can put on there, right, for everybody, recommend LinkedIn, but you can put on there like actively searching for a job, right? And it changes your profile pic to being like,
open to work.
Open to work, right?
Yeah.
Very big flag to say, I'm open-minded. But you can also subconsciously or subliminally, there we go, subconsciously, subliminally not do that, but you can put it for in the settings. Recruiters can see, hey, I'm open-minded. It says I'm open to work. Recruiters will see that, right, within the recruiter profile on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I've always had that on, always. Like
You've had it on
since I retired.
The recruiter version?
Yeah, I've had it on. So any recruiter that says, hey, who's looking for an opportunity, right? Who's open-minded, right? Obviously, they don't want to waste their time.
I don't know what my settings are right now, but I think it's the same.
Right. Because if you get messages from recruiters, if you get, emails or the in-mail that they call it, right, through LinkedIn for them to say, hey, we've got an opportunity.
Yeah.
Typically, you've got it on, unless they're just spamming you. But,
okay.
So I've always, in the last 7 years, constantly been getting hit up, whether it's valid or, sometimes they're weird jobs, but, whether they're in the region or within your job scope or within the data center.
Yeah.
So, yeah, coming back to, I've always been open-minded, always, who knows what the next opportunity could be.
Yeah.
And if you're not at least being open-minded to it, you could miss it. And so
I would think if you're on LinkedIn, you're probably open-minded to it, right? Like
I think so. Or let's say everybody thinks like,
unless you're trying to just promote your company or
right,
promote your own
exactly.
personal thing.
Right. Or, somebody said, hey, you got to have a LinkedIn profile. And you're like, okay, I guess I have to,
Some people, that's true.
Yeah. And they don't know how to fully leverage it or what it can mean.
Yeah. Mine doesn't really represent me at this point in time.
Why not?
Well, I put my resume, I like got attached to the technical part of it, which was making a professional website and like a resume and like using like a very like web format savvy
background and stuff like that, or
all that stuff. My stuff is formatted really well. The bullet points do represent reality kind of, but as far as like selling my brand of like who I am, that's not on there right now.
Right.
It's like very like, and again, I need to change it, but it says like executive something is like, that's kind of disingenuous.
As soon as the way you talk about it, it's very obvious it's not you. It's just what the algorithm says.
Kinda. Yeah, it's partial. I mean, it's true to some extent, but
like you said, you're kind of watering it down.
Yeah, I'm going to change it.
The authenticity of it.
Yeah, I'm going to change it.
Because you're like, it's 90%.
Yeah, it is.
95%.
I'm going to change it at some point. It's not on my high priority list to do.
Nah.
So I'll say this, man. I'm open to. So I'll play the opposite. So I'll challenge you first. That's what I'll do first.
Okay.
Yeah, over the top.
Over the top, yeah. Now that the rest of the world is waking up, and so are we.
And then I'll make a statement that is true, but I want you to challenge me too.
Oh.
Maybe this is a boring topic. Maybe this is where we should open ChatGPT and ask those questions we've been planning since day one.
But you got to be careful about that.
What's up?
When you start a conversation with...
This is going to be boring?
Well, just setting the tone before you let it just carry its own weight.
All right. Maybe this is... Okay.
You come to somebody and you're like, I got a stupid question.
You ready to fight? It'll be fun.
Okay. Sarah, once again, great feedback. Sarah jokes. She's like, I don't know how you guys go at each other. She's like, when you said, last podcast, you said, hey, can I challenge you or can we argue? And she's like, that would make me nervous. Somebody's like, and she's like, you guys just do it so back
fluidly.
And forth.
Yeah.
Don't
avoid the question. You ready? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, let's fight.
All right. You've been jumping companies for a while.
Ooh, yes.
You've been jumping companies for a while.
I know.
Don't you realize they're all the same and you can just freaking be valuable where you're at? Ooh. Why wherever you go, there you're at. Why change? Why switch it up? What's the point?
Okay, bro. Bro,
Yeah.
one more bro, because that is a great question. That is definitely something on the professional realm somebody could challenge, or being like,
Yeah.
especially with your why. Every place has afforded me the opportunity to do it. I've met great human beings. Every time I've left, a lot of them internally or externally have been like, why are you leaving, Rico? Like, you know, for all the right reasons. And you're absolutely right. If I had stayed at any of them, I would have been fulfilled. But once again, plateaus are a dangerous place, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The comfort zone is a dangerous place. They even talk about, once again, just if going in the weeds, neuroplasticity. If you always brush with your right hand, they recommend doing it with your left,
Oh.
because it can stimulate new neurons and pathways in your brain.
Cool.
And it's good. And that's been shown to lengthen your life. Like, it adds to longevity.
Switching your hand up.
Yes, it's just like if you take the same route to work every day, take a different route. It does so much to your mental well-being. And it's such a simple act. And so I'm not saying change jobs every 2 years or less, because it mixes things up, but there is validity to mixing things up, getting out of your comfort zone. And interesting enough, a lot of the opportunities weren't things that I was actively pursuing. I was just open-minded to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is a powerful feeling or emotion to say, why not? Why not?
Is it because Amazon? So my rebuttal, I'm going to be in fight mode, but it's not.
No, let's do it.
It's not because I actually feel this way.
Healthy friction.
I'll even answer my own question.
Well, that's not fair.
Yeah, you're right.
Go for it.
Amazon's a huge company with like 1 million plus people or
The
something.
whole reason I avoided in the first place when I got out.
Yeah.
You went to Amazon, and I went to a job fair in Washington State.
Yeah.
Amazon was there. I got all this paraphernalia. I still use it today, this notebook I got from Amazon from that job fair.
You said paraphernalia. I was like, I still use it to roll blunts in the morning. You know, like
Yeah, that kind of paraphernalia.
it's my my Pecky Smile scraper for the weed. Anyway, my question was like, why couldn't you find your spot within it? If a company's that big and you already came there, why wouldn't you be able to find your spot? My personal answer is because when they put you in a level, there's a lot of resistance to the company. It's very rare that we can be like, this person was misleveled. They should be a different level.
Yeah.
Once you're in level, or once the company assesses you at X value, when you come in, it's not impossible, but I do see a lot of resistance towards being like, we were wrong. That person is actually 3 levels above. Like if you started as a like a level 2, let's say you were just started as a warehouse, like you know, moving packages. Your path to level 7 is very, very long. Maybe. Is there a world in which somebody gets recognized for value and quickly becomes level 7? I think that could be real. And I say that because I still work there and I hope to be part of that change.
Yeah.
But now like, so that's my question to you, man.
So
is like,
I what you just said, absolutely true.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because as an external hire too, I think there are good levels to come in at. Like and maybe parallels to you, like coming in, you know, as a technician at even, you know, L2, right? For technicians in the data center, they don't do L2 anymore. But, you know, even if for some reason it was L2, your ability to ascend. So when you get to that 5 or 6, which is very challenging, like you said, I think going from 2 to 6 sets you up so much better to go to 7. But in my mind, it's like, okay, that 2 to 6 journey, right, took some time. Yeah. You know, even, you know, but 2 to 6 is fantastic. But say that took you, you know,
years and years,
maybe 6 years, like on a good pace.
Yeah.
But then your trajectory after that is much easier. Me coming in at a higher level, L5, right, facility manager.
Yeah.
It's harder for me to get even to L6 or L7 compared to somebody who has spent some time there. Like, that's what I saw. I saw in my peer group, right? And not comparison, but just going, you know, if I want to have the next role to be challenged professionally, which I'm very much about, right? And broad scope of impact, I was like, these people have been here 5 or 6 years. They know, once again, I think something to talk about that place. There is a lot of tribal knowledge. There's so many tools. And as much as they try to onboard you and show you and you have no idea. Like you said, there are the majority ones that you typically use, but within the breadth of the novelty, there are some times when you need that. And I saw it very often, more often than not, in my time there within the year, where it's like somebody who'd been there a while, right? They'd come in as a technician and ranked up over the last 5 or 6 years to my peer group now, that they knew it like that. Mm-hmm. And it felt uncomfortable, because I'm like, I know I'm very capable, but a lot of that's just time. Like, once again, the military, time and rate. It doesn't matter how good or ready you are, if you haven't waited your time, right? 3 years, right? Because that's what feels good to say, you've been in this role for 3 years, then you can even be considered for the next one. I'm not saying that's the way it is at Amazon, but just based on how the companies run and the ins and outs that I experienced, it very, very much felt like you couldn't even begin to compete without just chalking up the dates. That was one thing where I was like, people that maybe on a leadership front, but on a leadership front, I knew where my skills are at. But because of either on the technical front, because just the different ins and outs and nuances of how they run business, and then the tools or the things, there was one. My boss was like, hey, I need you to go gather this information, right? Just random numbers for all the sites, some technical detail when it came to the fire system, right? And it was, just to be black and white for those in the data center world, it was just like the account numbers, for calling out all your facilities, right? With like BFP.
Good luck. Yeah.
I know. And so I was like, okay, I can do this, right? It's a good task, consolidate it, once again, get all the information in the right place.
Yeah.
I started working on it. And then another manager caught wind of it and was like, hey, this information, we already have it. What are you doing? And he quickly produced it, because it was buried in some work doc file folder thing somewhere. Yeah. And I was like, that was so discouraging, frustrating. Yeah. You feel like you're doing something good, and turns out somebody had the information the whole time.
Yeah.
But my boss didn't know that person had the information the whole time. So I got tasked by my boss, and I'm like, how much time are we wasting doing this very often?
That type of thing.
Yeah, man. We're like, and once again, it was one of those people who had been there for a while, knew where it was at. And so that's one aspect of the bureaucracy and the size that I think, once again, I saw those parallels when I left the military. When you have a large organization, there's things that inherently come with a large organization. Yeah. And then, we're very much about change, but on an individual level, how much you can spearhead change compared to what I've seen in the past or been experienced in the past with smaller companies.
Change. There's no resistance to change, because everything has changed. Yeah.
Yeah, but then the things you want to change, you can't change, or the things that need to get changed are so ingrained.
Talking about big company.
Talking about big company, yeah. Right? When things, just that flywheel has been spinning for so long, and everybody knows, something I heard very often that I would drive me nuts is like, "Welcome to Amazon, welcome to Amazon." Anytime something came up like that, that
somebody would say, "Welcome to Amazon."
Yeah, fell into the category and be like, well, once again, tone means something, right? Yeah. Well, welcome to Amazon. It's like, that is so disparaging. Yeah. I remember in a meeting once, I told everybody, I was like, hey, please stop saying that if you can. Like, it's such a negative connotation.
Yeah, because you are Amazon partially.
Yeah, you mean nothing by it.
Yeah.
But yet you do so much more harm. It's not in jest anymore. Yeah. That's one thing.
I think you and I are the same in that regard. I don't consciously do it, but anytime I'm about to say welcome to Amazon, or something similar, or of like, oh, that's the way it is, or like, I immediately take a more honest look at it, like paths to higher levels. Mm-hmm. Somebody just yesterday, I was talking about their path to L6 as a different role other than the traditional path.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be like, the truth is it hasn't been done yet, and the resistance will be higher because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I've spent a long time selling an idea for that project, the name drop of NOM.
Mm-hmm.
I've been spending a lot of time preparing to sell the idea versus just doing the idea.
Because you know what it's going to take. It's not necessarily that the idea is great and phenomenal. It's like you have to sell it. The convincing required, the effort that takes.
Well, it's the convincing required not to use the product. The intention of the product is to not be sold. It should sell itself.
Right.
A really good product sells itself.
I know.
Marketing helps, but I've never seen a Liquid Death commercial. I think I saw one on their website or something.
Mm-hmm.
But the product sells itself. and I hope my product sells itself, but I will have to be put in a position to where I can focus on that is going to be very hard.
There's another element that I want to share in this discussion.
Yeah, and then challenge me too, man.
Well, because if we're fighting,
I've been in the same place for a minute.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm going to challenge you on the same thing in regards.
I
But
hope so.
the other facet, just in true transparency, was there was a moment where I was like, do I want my boss's job? Would that make me fulfilled?
Mm-hmm.
And for some crazy reason, if I stay here long enough and I have my boss's job,
Yeah.
do I want that? And when I really looked in the mirror and said to myself, no, I don't. That was very uncomfortable conversation and
Yeah.
a little disparaging. Not so much in a reflection of them, but just knowing this is my plateau.
Because you don't want that.
Right. Like there,
Yeah.
unless once again, I could go a different avenue. That's another great thing, just to be truthful. And there's so many opportunities not on the normal path at Amazon, that you can go into different orgs or groups and things outside of just operations within the data center.
Yeah.
Because they're so large and so compartmentalized, you can explore their opportunities. And I talked to a lot of people about those. Anytime I met somebody who said, oh, I started in this department or group and then jumped to this one and then tried this one, I loved hearing their stories of that experience too. But still, I like operations. I don't want to not run a facility. I don't want to not have a team. So yeah, for me, it was this ceiling was coming down on me as far as like, if you're here at this company, this is kind of where you're going to be at.
What does your boss do at Amazon?
Cluster manager.
What do they do?
Oh, sorry.
What is that job?
See, that's the thing. You know what it is? It's
How do you know
more of the same.
How do you know you don't want it?
It felt like more of the same.
This is where we might.
In fact, even
Yeah.
I'll say more of the same as far as the bureaucracy, the admin, the daily checklist,
Right.
And some of it obviously, it doesn't always have to be like high value add and deep
Yeah.
spiritual emotion, but I'm like, the higher I go up, the less I'm connected to the troops.
Mm-hmm.
And something about that too, where it's like, I enjoy where I'm at with that opportunity.
Yeah.
And then the higher I go up, there's nothing else that now fills that void
Yeah.
or is similar to it. And you could try your best. I think you, as somebody who's a little higher up, does a good job of that. So yeah, maybe I'm being not shallow, narrow-minded, and like, well, if you had that role, could you do it differently in a way
Yeah.
that still fills your cup? But there's those other things, like I said, like in the tasking, those nuances of just the day-to-day to how Amazon does business, which, once again, I have those experiences at other places where it's like, some things are similar, but some things are just really, really different. And I don't like them,
Yeah.
truthfully, because to me, time being precious, efficiency, value add, we scream efficiency at Amazon, but I see so many reasons why it doesn't happen.
You're plugging my tool right now.
I know, man. I know. Can I give you,
Yeah.
there was a training that came out last year. It was a training on efficiency. It was a white belt training that everybody was supposed to do, right? Managers, technicians, everybody in operations was supposed to do this white belt training, white belt being efficiency.
For Lean Six Sigma and all that.
Exactly. And it was about all these processes that did not relate to our job. It was a long training.
Yeah.
So I think it was like 2 or 3 hours. And when you talk about everybody in the org having to do it,
Yeah.
and even as a manager, I walked away going, I got nothing out of that. There was zero value add. So is there irony in the fact that we're talking about you all have to do this efficiency training?
That's long.
That was the biggest waste of time for the org and for people. And I didn't walk away with, oh, I could do this or I could do that. It was very generic. It was very much for anybody else but us.
Yeah.
In the context, the messaging, the tools, it was, yeah, those, like that, once again, is just one of those little red flags along the way that says, will I ever change that at this org? Yeah, see, maybe I'm selling myself short, but when you go to a smaller company, you can have much broader impact much quicker, even with at a smaller level.
Right.
And I love that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough, brother.
So it's funny because you're right. I know you're like looking for the laundry list of reasons why. Like I started off with I loved everything about it, and I'd be happy if I was staying there.
I don't.
But
think
these things, these like what they feel are just like little anchors.
I know.
You know, you want to soar high, but you feel this weight pulling you down within the org. And I think, see, being once again radically transparent here.
Yeah.
My wife said the same thing to me too. When I came to her, she was like, "Are you ever going to be satisfied?" Like that was very challenging for her, you know, in that regards of like,
Right.
you know, when you went to this place, you said it was going to be great. And then you went to this place and you said how great it was going to be and you're going to stay there forever. When I went to Amazon last year, she was like, "Oh, are we going to stay at this place for a while?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think this is going to be the place." Right. I mean, you always go into something new with the optimism that it could be that place you actually retire at or work forever at because of all the right reasons. And so it was challenging. And I love that you challenged me in the same regards because that's a real question for somebody like, well, what happens after 2 years at this place? And no place is perfect. There's always issues. There's always limiters. Yeah. And what happens, you know?
Now, I will say, I'll just validate you real quick. I know some of the things that you don't mention on air that are like reasons to go, and those are legit. I think you should leave.
I did.
I know. I think you should. Yeah, have gone or whatever.
I give you permission.
Yeah, dude. I think you're valid. So I asked these challenging questions, and I'm sitting here listening to you like, is this entertaining podcast material? I don't really know, man, but I kind of want to speak on the matter. I don't know. What is? Do you have a challenge?
I think it's a good topic.
Yeah.
Because we both have different experiences.
Yeah, jumping company to company.
Yeah, you've been at Amazon the last 7 years, right?
7.5, almost 8.
Yeah, man.
Ask me those challenging questions. I will say you make better.
Why haven't you left?
Well, one,
this is okay. So just I'll give you a chance because also,
dude, be challenging to me. I'm asking.
But also I'm putting you on the spot because I'm like saying like why you haven't left.
Yeah.
And I know it'd be a fair and balanced. I also don't want to put you in a compromising position with the company that you're currently in.
I want you to put me in that position.
Okay. Why haven't you left?
Because every time that I have looked for a job, I have had an interview that the experience of the gaps or what I would have to do, the changes to my resume, the difference to technique that I'd have to bring to the interview, the variables of now when I've interviewed other places, I've done it one at a time with one offer, and I just do one. And then I take that and I go back to work. Mm-hmm. I haven't been to the point where I was so desperate to get out that I needed to like, and I haven't been on LinkedIn like you. I haven't been doing these videos. I mean, I'm doing this right now, but I don't even know if it's going to be good for finding jobs.
Yeah.
I haven't been actively marketing myself to the public as like a product that somebody would want to acquire for senior leadership positions, whatever.
Okay. So
I basically have reached the point. I'm like, the experience that I had during the interview process, which I, get good feedback or whatever, but I didn't get the job I was looking for, or if I had been offered, I don't even know if I would have taken it. I always come to the conclusion that like the changes that I want to make or what I want out of that other job are probably something that I should give myself the opportunity to challenge myself doing right here.
Okay.
So the whole like, do I want to do the cluster manager job, my job? I'm uncompromising at this point in time that I will do it in a way that I want to do it. So when you're in a job, you have a role to play. And in that role, it requires only a certain set of things. It's like some core requirements that might be outside of what you would do. Like for me, my goal is to be the type of human who does most of those things organically. Now, sitting down and ranking, or like assessing people's talent and stuff like that, assessing them to some performance metric, that's not something I would do if I wasn't employed. However, that's just part of the role. But my point is, when it comes to time and mental energy, that stuff only really takes up a small portion of it. Oh, the cat's here, dude.
No, it's okay, man.
No, yeah.
No, it's not distracting me. He's just checking my water bottle.
Cool. But my point is, you do have a lot of time. I have a lot of time. Most people have a lot of time to make the job what they want. That's not true all the time. If a big project comes up, that might suck up more of your time. But the point is, like, I don't think, and this is my strong statement that I want you to challenge me on, is I don't think I'm ever going to leave Amazon until they either A, fire me, or B, the tension is so high that I can no longer do what I love, which is if I can't help people, if I can't make the majority of my day about helping others, because right now it is about developing. On paper, it's like you should lead X.
Right.
If I can't do that in the way that I think I should be, the company either fires me, whatever, or the tension there is so high that I can no longer lead.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm leaving.
So
Unless somebody reaches out to me and throws me an opportunity that ticks all my boxes naturally and I don't have to have as much tension.
Yeah.
And the money is obviously way better.
I'm going to create one for you, man. I just made that a mission of mine. I'm going to bring you an opportunity because some of the things you said, and you,
I'm not moving to Louisiana. No, please continue.
No.
You're going to bring me an opportunity. What's up?
I'm being serious.
Okay.
I'm going to help create an opportunity for you. Does it sound weird? Do you sound skeptical? You got that face.
No.
I don't want to elaborate on that yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say this.
I just planted the seed for myself, really. It was like the mental
Sure.
note of like things to do in my lifetime.
I appreciate
Create an
that.
opportunity for
Yeah,
Craig to
yeah.
lead because you said some things that I think, once again, I did want to challenge you, and then you were open and honest about owning it.
Yeah.
Of like what it would take. I thank you for your transparency. I think that's dangerous. That to me, like that is the check engine light on your car when it's like, well,
the truth is, dude, if I got fired today, I have a ton of money and a ton of time.
no, it's not that. It's that
Yeah.
you would have to wait for it to get so nasty that then you leave. Because that's what happens to people. People like, they get in that comfort zone. That is 100% the comfort zone, brother, where it's like, my job, it's not so bad.
I'm not comfortable, bro.
No, but I'm saying like
Yeah.
that mindset where it's like, well,
Yeah.
my boss isn't horrible. He or she is a good person, right? Like I like the people I work with. Yeah, the company's got some issues, but compensation or the benefits, the insurance or, the things that they offer. I mean, Amazon offers a ton, They're $1 trillion company. They're all the things that you and even Joel like selling me on it. He's like, I get to do this, 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 and this. And that's not even within my job scope. And I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I was very envious of all the extracurriculars and opportunities, that he's involved with like the learning development program, the manager, leadership program,
Yeah.
the things that he's in part of with the different affinity groups and volunteering and giving back. And I'm like, that is fantastic that a company creates those opportunities because they're $1 trillion company.
Sure.
And so, but that mindset of like, well, it's not bad enough to make me want to leave, right? That's dangerous.
It's not good or bad. It's that the tension hasn't been so high.
But it never will. It will never happen. You'll never get fired. I promise you that. Two,
I could. No. Go ahead.
it would never get that toxic that you're like, I have to pull the ripcord.
Well,
if those
then,
are your requirements outside of,
the projects
finding you.
The projects I'm working on,
Yeah.
if I meet major resistance with those, like major resistance, as in given all the data that supports doing X thing, if I meet that whole bureaucratic wall, that might push me out.
But you know what they're going to tell you? If that's the case, it won't be so black and white to being like, nah.
Don't do this thing.
Right. It'll be like,
Soft resistance.
just not now. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not ready for that, or it needs some maturation, or we're working on some things on the side. Like that's I was going to jokingly say my favorite sarcastically, right? Where it's like, you have something like there was an issue that came up. I brought it up.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, and it was from an issue.
Yeah.
Right. An incident report that we kind of had to be like, look back and being like, what could we do better?
Right.
So then we came up with the list. I had to come up with the list, kind of the 5 whys of how this happened. Right.
And the action items.
And that's, every organization, right? When you have some kind of issue, right? Go to root cause, 5 whys.
So I'm guessing you come up with an action item that's important. And they're like, it's a soft no because
No.
they're like, if you have the time, okay, go ahead.
No. I know you were excited to think, but
Yeah.
it was even worse. It was like, oh, we know about that. We're already working on it.
Who's working on it?
Right. Another org where, I don't know, on their priority. And
Dude.
they're like, I come to them saying, hey, you know, we need this new action item. It falls within your category. And they go, yeah. We're already working on something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, so, you know, I understand things don't happen overnight. It isn't like this that change pops out of such a large org.
My new philosophy, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt you. Rah. My new philosophy at the company is, and this is where the tension comes in, is I don't get the luxury of saying that's not my job. I don't have that luxury.
Yeah. You've said that before, and I like that.
That's like a company motto. However, where it gets blocked is if I go, that's not my job description, but I want to make change over there. Mm-hmm. You know what does happen at a big bureaucratic company? Is somebody goes, that's mine.
Stay in your swim lane.
Stay in your swim lane,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Well, you know what, dude?
Job security.
From now on, and for the rest of the time I'm at Amazon, I'm not coming for your job, but I am coming for efficiency, and I'm coming for betterment and representing my people and representing all of us and helping people. And there's nothing that's going to stop me.
Dude, I love how you said that too. You're
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm not coming for your job, but I'm freaking coming.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming for something.
Yeah.
If something is in your lane,
Yeah.
and this is happening in real
I'm not
time.
kicking you out of your house, but I'm coming in to your house.
Yeah, because it's our house.
Yeah.
We all share the same house.
Yes.
And so my point is, like, lately, I see my team, and I have, you know, obviously the 70 tools, and the job is insane. And I see the stress, and I spend these one-on-ones with people, you know, and I spend time with people outside of work, whatever. I see tears, emotions, the tension. I see what my team goes through, and it's insane. So, out of love for my team,
Right.
and for anybody else,
Yeah.
I have to fix things.
Why?
Because fixing those things will allow my team to be... I can work all day, sun up, sun down,
Yeah.
get a night's sleep,
Yeah.
and feel fine the next day. There's a difference between that day
Yeah.
and a day that I spent my whole day struggling and dealing with inefficiency or dealing with ineffectiveness. Then I wake up feeling like shit the next day. 2 days, worked all day. One day I wake up feeling great. The other day I wake up feeling like crap. My point is, there are too many things at the company. Well, there should be for any company, but there's too many things that I see are causing the latter, which is the tension, the inefficiency,
Yeah.
the lack of the process gaps, all that crap. And don't get me wrong, Amazon's effective. Obviously, we're getting the job done.
Yeah.
Right?
Continue to make money.
Big dog,
Yeah.
$1 trillion.
I recommend buying Amazon stock.
Yeah.
It's never going to go down.
So my point is, I'm not talking trash about the company. They're obviously more efficient than a lot of things, but they're so huge that the challenge,
Yeah.
my point is, that stay in your lane crap
Right.
doesn't fly. So for me to be a game-changing human,
Yeah.
I have to fight that barrier. And actually, I kind of have fun doing it.
Right.
Until I get a hard no, until I experience something which I kind of softly did last year, that is like a hard barrier. I don't think I'm leaving. So I'm
Can
gonna
I ask you another question? Sorry.
please, dude.
You said something just a minute ago.
Yeah.
Do you feel an obligation for the team to stick around until the mission's done? And really, when you think about it, the mission's never done. Is there something in that regards, you know, a leadership obligation?
I've spent 7 years, almost 8 years with these people.
Right.
I'm going to continue to do it. Do I feel an obligation? Hell yeah. That's my community. I know that job.
Right.
In the same way that I have an affinity
Would they
towards
ever prevent you from pursuing a better opportunity for
Who?
yourself?
the people?
Yeah.
I'm pursuing it right now, brother. My point is, I'm not going to pursue another opportunity when I have an opportunity to make a change where I'm at. But I'm open to it. My point is, I'm open to it. But the
But
whole,
your ability to have impact and change.
the truth is
is really people agnostic. It is.
It is. But my point is, I any minute that I have to work on the projects I'm working on and the changes that I'm trying to make it work, this is honest. This is a no BS. I didn't prepare for this. I didn't think about it before this morning. It could sound like a bunch of shit. It could also be, it could be perceived as a bunch of shit. But my argument,
You did that thing again.
What?
Where you said this could be a piece of shit. You know, when you plant
Well, no,
that
like
seed,
people see this and they're like, "Oh, that's not genuine."
but you
know,
plant
like,
that seed ahead of time, right?
Well, because I guess, all right,
It's limiting, right?
Sure, dude. Okay, I'll just
Because
say
it already gets you thinking
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, I'll just say it. Any minute of the day.
And I'm talking about the audience, right? It gets them thinking that way, right? If you say, they're like, oh, could this be a piece of shit?
All right, whatever. It's not.
Then don't say it.
Right now, at this point in time,
Yeah.
at least for now, any time of the day that I would spend working on my resume is time that could be spent working on the projects that I have.
Ooh. But
Yeah, go ahead.
what if you could be working on bigger projects because you're not inviting the opportunity for you to be a part of those?
This project I'm working on is the biggest project I've ever worked on in my
But
life.
maybe there's a bigger, I'm not saying it always has to be the bigger fish, but
Then
you talk
pitch-
about impact, right? We talk about impact.
Until somebody brings me something bigger.
Oh, somebody's going to bring it to you now? They're going to hand deliver it?
Absolutely.
You're not going to go get it?
I'm already doing it.
See, I feel like there's something here.
There's billions of dollars. Like, I'm not even joking, dude. When I'm
No,
talking,
I know you're non-project.
yeah, it's billions of dollars.
It's
potentially
It's something. See, once again,
Yeah.
giving you credit because I'm challenging you and attacking you, but also
Giving me credit?
it's beyond what I could ever accomplish in my lifetime.
That's not true. That's not true. But it could be billions of dollars.
I know what you.
Yeah.
I know what I am, and I know what I'm not, and I know what you are, and that is something in our delta as human beings.
Yeah,
Like
man.
your ability for coding and things of those natures.
I don't have that ability. It's all AI.
But
I-
even using, like, once again, using AI. If somebody said, "Hey, I need you to use AI," I can use the extent that you're doing. You have that tool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, what I'm working on is billions of dollars and helps everybody. And I don't think there is a bigger project that I've ever worked on or
I know.
anything that I've ever been a part of. So like, my point is, until somebody brings me something crazy, I literally,
Well, I did say I was going to do that for you
okay.
because
Yeah.
I think in your own grace
Sure.
that you are seeing it as a selfish pursuit when I think opposite.
What I'm doing,
Yeah.
it is the opposite. It is both selfish and also selfless.
I know. But I think
the project literally represents helping every single person.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know also because you're in the company and business, it helps you too. But really, it's 99%.
Well, the truth is, this IP belongs to Amazon, so I'm not entitled to a dime of this thing.
Now maybe there's an opportunity in the future that you are not pursuing or being actively open
Well,
with a LinkedIn profile, that it's something that can not only do that and also financially benefit you, right? Like, why can't you have the win-win? I know for now you think it's the win-win, but I'm saying maybe there's a win-win-win where, Craig, it doesn't have to be completely altruistic. It can be
Yeah.
selfish in that
selfish.
regards. Yeah, exactly.
I
You
think-
also can profit.
Here's the thing, dude. There's a quote that's "Be so valuable you cannot be ignored."
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna scheme on how to make a dime here or even $100,000.
No, I'm not saying that,
there.
but like when
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I haven't been on LinkedIn, I need to clean it up. My resume, I haven't cleaned it up. I'm not saying like resume aside. I'm just saying like you're marketing for yourself.
Let me commit to a time. I don't know. Maybe in the next. I don't even have a commitment, but I should make it represent me better, because it's disingenuous in the way that it is now. But honestly, this podcast, this talking, kind of does it for me.
Okay.
No, I've never been to. I hate to mention Joe Rogan again, but it really was like back when I was on night shift. It like fueled my life. It was like, oh my God, human connection, human development. This
Right.
is what I need. I never been to that guy's LinkedIn page. Like I don't care about it. My point is, over time, as I put myself out there and live a more organic life, the social media aspect.
We're doing
what's
it in
out
the
there.
reverse order though, right?
Yeah, one of these videos speaks louder than my entire LinkedIn profile.
Right.
So now that we have 4,
I mean,
and
why
there
does he
will
have
be 50?
Why does he have a podcast? Because he was an announcer on UFC, right? And UFC a while back. I mean, you just go back 10 years and actually maybe a little bit longer, but there was a point when UFC was a joke.
There was
you
a
know?
point.
And
yeah.
who's the guy for UFC?
Dana White.
Dana White.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he almost went broke. Like the company almost went under, at its inception, where it's like we're not making money.
And now he gambles people's houses every hand of blackjack. you
Right.
know? Yeah.
But I mean, and that's kind of part of what it was is a gamble with a partner to being like, if this doesn't work out, UFC
Yeah.
never happens. And fortunately,
Yeah.
it did.
Yeah. So yeah.
But I'm saying like Joe Rogan didn't just pop up on a podcast. He had a
No.
beginning, and if your beginning happened to be LinkedIn,
And
we're like-
Amazon.
yeah, just wherever your beginning is to lead to there, not to be judged.
I'm not scheming about where things turn out, but what I am scheming to do is provide as much value as I possibly
Well, I
can.
mean, you did make and just to be fairness, right? And
Yeah. What's up?
no, like
Yeah. Do
I
seem
don't,
like
I don't want to say I took offense, but when you're like, oh, Joe Rogan, I don't go to his LinkedIn, I'm like,
Oh.
so what? No. It's not. It's just everybody's got a different start, right?
Right. Yeah.
Dude, if we did this full time, that would. I mean, just talking selfishly, that would be fantastic. If there was like a real forum for like, we need this content.
I told Chris Dove that kind of thing. Well, my second thought is you would then on the side, you'd pursue something meaningful, I would hope.
Mm-hmm.
You would free up, if like, let's say this was your income, if
Yeah.
this was where your revenue was coming from,
Right.
then that would free you up to do things that
Oh,
are meaningful.
dude, it's like those people that say, oh, if I won the lottery, I would quit my job. And how many of those people
You should quit
end
your
up back
job.
in that job?
You should quit your job if you win the lottery, most likely.
But are you the right kind of person? Have you developed in the kind of person that can quit their job after winning the lottery?
That's the real question.
And no, you have not. 99% of them have not.
Probably not.
I know.
Because most people haven't.
Right.
If I quit my job today, and I've talked about this with my wife, I could probably do my own thing. That's real. And she's actually given me the blessing to do that.
I mean, kudos to you to create that opportunity for yourself, that option.
Yeah.
Because I was just talking with Sarah about this. Like in life, when you're able to create more opportunities for yourself, instead
Yeah.
of relegating to, well, this is all I can do.
Yeah.
I don't have any options.
Yeah.
Embrace the suck, if you will. But truthfully, where it's like, well, you got to do that because you haven't created the opportunities and options for yourself. So
yeah.
that's pretty powerful shit.
Maybe I'm a fool, man. Maybe this last hour
No,
of
but-
conversation about leaving jobs or being with jobs and all that stuff, maybe this is the stuff. See, when I started episode 1, I don't know. This thing's not, I'm going to keep doing this forever, but calibration-wise, maybe this is too far into the territory of risk and like pointlessness of like, why even create this tension? Why even talk about these things? Is it valuable to anybody? Is it valuable to each other? I think it's valuable to each other.
As
but is it-
valuable as water. There's already a water company. Why do we
Yeah.
need 100 different water
Yeah.
companies?
So I guess perspectives on leaving jobs or staying at jobs. I wonder if this brings it. Do you think this conversation has brought any value to anybody? Or
Yeah,
would
because we've
ever?
shared our experiences. You've been somewhere forever. I think you need to leave. I keep
Yeah.
jumping ship.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm never going to find happiness because I keep jumping ship and don't give a company the opportunity. Maybe I don't have the right mindset in the moment to go, I don't need to go somewhere else to create that opportunity.
Yeah.
I have the opportunity right there to create that.
And maybe I'm limiting myself. Yeah.
So I think it's good
Keep
perspectives.
pushing on that, man.
Well, it's okay. So actually, wait. Oh, in the episode 2, Chris Dove podcast, we probably got to get better about naming the episodes too, so that way, or even a description, so that way people can say like what can I gain from this episode instead of just trying to find or search.
Yeah, adding the metadata, also adding the RSS feed, so this is actually a legitimate podcast.
Right.
Somebody who's technical pointed out to me that this is not a podcast right now because it's not RSS.
Oh, okay.
What's RSS?
I don't know what the acronym stands
I
for.
don't even know what that
I
means.
know.
But the point is, yeah, it needs better metadata,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
HTTP, it's like it's the internet. I don't know,
Yeah.
but that's
Something-
funny because when I did my podcast,
Yeah.
my audio podcast, I was like, I would do some more prep work than we do, which is fine. But I would think about like what I'm going to talk
Yeah.
about and make sure that the title of what the heart of the episode was
in there.
Yeah, and I know ours is just kind of a thought experience, just
Yeah.
cathartic, go with the flow. So we kind of bounce in and out of a lot of stuff.
I'll figure that part out. That's higher priority to me than changing my
Yeah.
LinkedIn profile.
So pulling
that's for
myself
sure.
back from that tangent,
Yeah.
dude, talk about Chris Dove, episode 2, and if when people say, "Oh, if you never had to work a day in your life, money wasn't an issue, what would you do?" Right? I would love to be a youth soccer coach again. And you guys were talking about that. I love that about the episode because I loved coaching. Because obviously, it's the same thing as like Chris was sharing, where he's like, I would go to the things, the coach would either not show up, or they, people were like, hey, this coach is awful. They don't know how to coach. They don't know what they're doing. Especially when you talk about like youth rec leagues where it's kind of just a volunteer basis. You're not getting paid, right, as a coach. So you're like, now you're talking about the time commitment and the effort, especially with little kids that are rambunctious and crazy. And it's like corralling cats. Yeah. And so, yeah, it started being like, instead of waiting to be told, hey, would you like to be the coach for your kids' teams? I would just say, I'll be the coach.
I've never even thought of jumping into that world.
Dude, so from the early ages of my kids, of either just being an assistant to the actual coach to then being like, I'll just do it full time because I'm here anyways. And once again, it's that mindset of I think I can do it better. So put your money where your mouth is. And then even to the point that my daughter in middle school, I was coaching there in Washington State, Central Kitsap. I was coaching at the middle school, and then she went on to high school, but she stopped doing. Both my kids by that time, they were so old, and they were like, me and Sarah were done with like forcing them to do, any kind of sports.
Yeah.
I think most parents, you should, whether your kids realize it or not, like force them to do a sport activity, which is what we always did. Like pick a sport, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
They both always loved doing soccer, which was great for me because I love soccer. And even after my daughter moved on, the coach was like, hey, I'd love for you to come back. And it was so weird because I was like, my daughter's not even on the team. But just, once again, it's not about just my daughter. It's about these young girls, right? Because it was the girls' soccer team. So it was these young girls and the ability to have impact on them. And them being like, yeah, Coach Rico, come back next year. Why not? Like, let's do it. Let's, just that attitude, that infection, that just, so yeah, I came back.
You'd be coaching.
I would be coaching. If I was like set for life, to me, adults are difficult. Yeah. I don't know if people have different views on kids or adults. Adults, man, they're so difficult because they've already got certain things ingrained, right? Certain mindsets, certain blockers, certain barriers.
Yeah.
Ways of being that are hard to uncoach, where kids are more malleable, more open. Right. And I just think kids are unblemished, if you will, from society.
Right.
Less tarnished, less scarred in that regards, less flawed. And so, yeah, I would coach youth soccer. And if I couldn't do that, I would love to be like a public self-help mentor speaker. Yeah. Like, whenever I've seen TED Talks, which it's funny how they've kind of fallen out a little bit. It used to be, if you had a TED Talk, you arrived,
sure,
as a public speaker, whatever it is. But,
yeah,
when, like in the self-help and giving back type, self-help, self-development.
Yeah. You ever logged on in the past 10 years? Have you logged on to a TED Talk and been like, well, A, no, and then B, when I have, there's been a few that took away the credibility from the platform.
Yeah.
I got on and I was like,
how did they get one? Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they started and then it was like just rapid fire and it diluted it and watered it down.
Dude, I'm not going to defame anybody. Maybe I already. So the question I asked earlier is like, is this value add to the public or the small viewer base that we have worth the risk that I'm taking right now, dancing around job finding and all this stuff and talking about companies.
The company I was with and you're currently with and other companies.
Yeah. It'd be like if you were like, I mean, the analogy is not even worth it, but yeah, is it even worth the risk? That's the question. Is it worth the risk talking about this? Is it valuable? But you just mentioned, yeah. What were you just saying this moment? I need to brush my teeth with the opposite hand today. I do. Just for my mental clarity.
Exactly, man. Take a different way to work.
But you were talking about coaching and what you would do. I would do in a large part what I'm already doing.
Because you even talked about it, like you started by saying, I can walk away from the job that most people don't have the luxury of doing. And then it's like, what would I do now to fill your cup?
I think I would do exactly what I'm doing right now.
In what way?
Well, the podcast.
Okay.
I'd spend time helping people. I think I would continue.
How?
I would do this more. I'd probably do the podcast way more.
Okay.
And then I would start a project that is adjacent using the same my intellectual property of like how I think,
Yeah.
I would just do that on computer.
So you're doing
Most
what
of
you
the
were doing
day.
now at work, just independently,
Yeah.
like consulting, or
Well, it goes.
I'm trying to get into the
It
details.
goes into the depth of the project, which is
Efficiency.
efficiency. Yeah, removing the friction from interacting with technology for most humans. I
So,
guess
create an app. You would create an app, sir.
I would create a software operating system or an operating platform, basically. Something like that.
Would AI be baked into it?
Absolutely,
Outstanding.
without a doubt.
Nice, man.
But it would be a lot of this,
Yeah.
and it would be
Self-development, self-help, coaching, mentoring.
Isn't that what this podcast is?
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's helping people.
I think we give back in not only just sharing our experiences and our thoughts, counter thoughts, but I definitely feel in every episode we've given plenty of opportunities for somebody to just grab onto something and say and walk away with something, right?
Signal and noise is paradox in that everything is noise, and you need to take signal and make meaning out of things, but then also simultaneously let it go. Meaning, life is all signal. It all can be put into boxes.
Okay.
But you also have to be open enough to realize that every time you put something in a box, you're minimizing it.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be open simultaneously. So
Yeah.
then you have to be open to all the noise. You have to be open to all the noise.
Right.
Have to be. You don't have to do anything, but you should be open to all the noise.
Yeah.
While also trying to make signal out of everything, and you have to be flexible between the two.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's good shit.
I don't know.
No, it's kind of like, to me,
Yeah.
my favorite term, right? Dichotomy of life, where life is complete suffering and complete joy. You have to have both. You have to embrace both,
Yeah.
right? Life doesn't ever get easier, but yet somehow in your journey, it becomes more beautiful.
Yeah.
And then the suffering and the joy are synonymous, simultaneous, help you, like, it's the sweet and the sour conversation where you got to have both, or else you'll never know the purity of anything. Just like, once again, talk about pets, right? Loving something so much, but knowing its finality. Like, we had Sammy, our dog, and he passed away a few years back, and that was gut wrenching. But prior to that, we got a new dog. We got a new puppy. Because we saw that finality and knew that we always wanted to have a pet in our life because the joy brings us the comfort selfishly. But also, like, it was funny when we got the new dog and Sarah was like, I'm never going to love this as much as Sammy. Sammy was the first. This new dog, I'm not sure about.
Shout
and then
out to
over
Sammy
time,
and his tongue.
right, and now Bear, right? Sammy and his bear, Sammy and his tongue, and then now Bear in our life. And it's just like, man, like, I'm never going to not love this or try to love this dog as much as I love Sammy. But knowing 100% completely, I'm going to outlive it. And I'm going to have to go through that same gut-wrenching experience that I had with Sammy, with Bear. And it may be even worse, the second time around. But I don't shy away from the joy of having him in my life.
Right.
Right. So it's the sweet and the sour. It's the suffering. Life is suffering. Life is 100% suffering. Don't freaking fool yourself. Life is difficult, that's okay. And because at the same time, from the suffering, you can, the joy. One more analogy or parallel, and then I'll probably be done. But like going on deployment, I remember thinking to myself, even when I joined the military, I would never have a family while I was in the military, because who would do that to their family? Who would intentionally say, for 6 months, I fall off the grid to you?
Yeah.
We create a life together, but every deployment, and 6 months is just the minimum. Some carriers go out for a year. Depends, like accepting that. And yet when you come back, like our marriage, our life together would never be sweeter, because we knew the extreme joy of just not having each other, for potentially indefinitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Life.
The freaking dichotomy, man.
I think something I figured out lately, I haven't figured it out lately, but
You're
it's-
starting to figure it out. It's starting to make sense.
yeah, as lately I've been able to say I have a very full life, crying and laughing in the same day, all that good
There you
stuff.
go, man.
Missing my dog, you know, all of it is just full.
Did he pass away from natural causes?
He died. He's a golden retriever, dude. Gotta get that cancer. You know, that's the way it is.
I know, man.
Yeah, dude. I've got to jump because I'm.
Yeah, you do.
This is that day.
I don't have a job or have a job yet.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's coming to a natural end, but I have to put an end on it because I gotta be.
No, I think this is a good spot to stop where
Yeah.
you elaborated on signal and noise, and then I probably
Yeah.
beat that dead horse with everything but signal and noise, brother.
Yeah,
Great freaking episode.
dude. Are we? What's next week? We'll talk about it off air.
Absolutely.
But damn, dude, love you, and so thankful that we have.
I
the
love
opportunity.
everybody that watches this, and either live or otherwise.
Yeah.
Even if you watch it for 5 minutes out of our 2.5 hour.
I got to throw that metadata in there and make it more reachable.
There we go.
That's a higher priority on my list than most other things.
But yeah, anybody that goes through this journey with us, including each other,
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah, man.
100%.
All right.